blow. There's more to come. Blood splattered across the cave as niko lives on. The CTs are coming from behind as well, taking T-spawn, looping back around. And this is the faith in niko being justified now with 2 frags. Can they flip the script? Spinks has got to check this cubby. Back his turn, does adjust, but down he goes. And the D good into the head as well. The Flames have got this one in the bag as they find 9. Bare bones, but niko holds B site firm.
Yeah, so they put all their faith for him to hold down the B site while they establish some territory elsewhere on the map. They ward them away from mid with some basic utility. They take that A main control, and from there, they're able to posture back with those rotations. niko used his utility perfectly. As soon as he took any contact over towards B, or got a little bit worried about his position, dropped an incendiary, dropped a smoke, allowed the rotation from his teammates to come back over, who wombo comboed with their utility perfectly to find those fights. And Yabi gets the final 3 of the rounds here. Back in with the buy, and Ence, they would love to get 6 in the gap on that smoke, almost looking for the punish onto HooXi.
Madden's really good at getting here fast. I don't think HooXi's going to be prepared for something like this.
I don't know if that's prepared for him below either.
Trade.
Needs the trade.
Can't get it!
He's made a meal of that!
That is horrible! And it means that the 10th is just 3 frags away. Make it 2 is okay. Everyone goes down on their own adventures. Hades trying to start a very exciting adventure of the 1v5 in round 15.
Well, has the time to do it, has his signature weapon, just has a lot on his plate right here, and I don't know how hungry he is.
HooXi's actually a glimpse of him, and yeah, just greeding for the frag. So 10 for the Flames on the defense.
Well, they're pretty happy. Look at the smiles on their face. You could just tell with the tone that... Look, I don't speak Danish, so I'm not quite sure what HooXi was saying, but the inflection in the voice sounded like he was quite happy with how that half went. And you can tell an in-game leader is happy with the map when they're playing the map the way he did. He was aggressive in so many fights in mid, just playing up and in that ledge position, getting involved in a lot of biffs across the map here.
And your recaps of where those Ence rounds came from. I mean, if it's not Spinks and Diha opening and closing the round in the first 15, and those quick early takes, you know, they got 2 rounds of pistol, a free second round, 1 in the midst of a sea of blue. This was the HooXi double. Huge, just shut down and turn on Madden there.
Ence, I feel like they really do need this pistol.
Yeah.
Because they've been dealt a bit of a dud hand here. Is this aggressive from Snappy with Julies?
Okay. He hears them. The pre-fire is swift. And it's up to him and Diha. Never mind, Diha's got him covered. Snappy does nothing with his armored Julies.
Well, that's in both pistol rounds. Diha has found a lot of action and traction. Now it's the question of if they can close this down. HooXi looking for space.
That's a no. That's
not
a no.
The space he was looking for.
Yeah, well, in the clouds is the space he's been sent to.
How do you win a 2-on-4 with no map control here on the T side of Ancient? Now, the P250 in the hands of Zyphon is a positive. The smoke for niko is great. The B-bomb site currently resides 2. It is going to be Madden joined by Spinks. And they're actually tucking in tight here. The cubby now.
Very powerful in the pistol especially. You know there's not going to be an incendiary, not going to be a Molotov. There's going to be a smoke towards longside.
Okay, well, Spinks is going to have to try and bait them through here. Otherwise, they can get the hard clear.
First on towards CT. Now Madden, quick on the first. Okay, well, the compulsory pistol in the pocket.
And both pistols, right? The reason I say that is just because after, with a lot of those buy rounds and Ence not getting across the line here, the Flames must be feeling extremely confident. If they were to get this T pistol, then be able to convert the next, well, we obviously know even if Ence lost that one, it is Snappy. He was going to most likely call out a force by here, but Diha, you can't discount his impact by any means. Just been ferocious on the pistols.
Got a lot of very capable aim stars here.
They've taken it twice, the Flames. In both halves, right? They've just got full ecos into the next, so they want to get the guns out in the third round of play quite clearly.
Yeah, they know what their game plan is. And there is nothing, not a penny invested into this.
Just such a strange juxtaposition when you see Snappy and they constantly have Tech 9s and Mac 10s and they plant it. Yeah, right.
We just saw Heroic as well. Like, everyone's ready to buy and force and go and go. And yeah, different philosophy for the Flames.
Look how annoying HooXi's being for DI here as well.
long-range goosh, and unfortunately, they've wanted to slip the net, but the bomb has not. So potency nullified. Nice to see an SMG frag for the AWPer. In the grand scheme, it's always extra. Oh, Roy's actually got himself a frag, and now Snappy's going to have to...
4, Alex.
Yeah, deal with that. Oh, they're so irritating. Look at this jiggle and goosh. And from behind, Hades will grab himself some extra cash. Lovely stuff. Grabs the M4 as well. Couldn't really have gone any better for Ence in their second, only up against the Glocks.
And Hades there, by getting those kills, actually gave himself enough money to buy the AWP. He picked up the dropped M4. He throws that one back across. Can get the big green out to play, and they know that now the AKs are out here for the Flames, so they could just operate as a traditional gun round here. The only omission is Snappy on an MP9, but watch how this in-game leader wheels that bad boy.
Yeah, they're doing the same smoke as well from Ence, so that will be arriving before the T's do. Straight through, Roy extinguishes. He wants to come knocking on Cave, wants to get those CTs. Defensive, and more than defensive, flatlined. Roy has opened up with a big one.
This is huge space to have very early. Right? Eventually, they will have to push Hades back, but there's multiple different methods you can do this. Right? We've seen the Molotov that gets thrown on over. It lands behind the pillar. It also burns the lip of Cave to deal with the exact position that Hades resides. And, well, they do have one Molotov available, but it's in the hands of Zyphon.
Yeah, he's in the cave at the for now. It wouldn't take much for him to be lining that up.
I guess it helps now that you can juggle them across as well. So if he wanted to throw that back over to one of these teammates here who have taken control of B lane, Yabi or nikodos, they could definitely start to operate in that fashion. But are they even expecting the AWP out this early? It is only the third round here in the second half.
God, so much riding on this shot from Hades. Oh, great catch. Spinks does deal with the Hooksy mid-cross. Does that change their plans? Foiled on the mid... And now, actually using lane as an avenue into mid, completely unguarded.
30 seconds.
Yeah, nikodos might want to do a little test of the AWPer here. But they are starting to at least flirt with it, trying to sell a mid-cross. It's pulled and rotates, and oh no! Hades activates just as nikodos strikes. Out of position, out of luck. Look at this. Building on what they started with Roy's opener. And now no hope for Diha. And that's modern-day Counter-Strike. They had the advantage from the first 10 seconds, Chad, but just making sure they continue to keep the CTs guessing. And that, you know, seeing Hades' death, you know what's happening. In his head, they're talking about flashes mid, Diha saying, I'm fine, one saying, I'm rotating, and Hades just wants to activate for a little more, and it's the beginning of the end. Yeah,
great work from Flames right there. They did get that opening, and then they were able to just hit the brakes. They lost one Hooksy in mid, trying to transition across right there. But you're right, it all comes down to drawing Hades in towards that fight. Just caught off guard by nikodos, so up close and personal. A banger of a shot from him. Roy will give the AWP to give back over to his primary AWPer into the next, and that is 11 now for the Flames as they will get their first round here on the T half, and they do it early again. Exactly what they did in that first half of play, right? They lost the pistol, they took the full eco, they get the first gun round. Similar script.
Similar result.
Oh, this is putting Ence under the pump here because we know that they are going to force buy in. They've saved that one M4. There's going to be a couple more that they can invest into here. A couple of MP9s to supplement those lack of purchases. But if Ence don't win this one, the Flames will force them down to an eco here. And that's their chance to roll out the red carpet and start going deep within these double digits. 4 towards B early, 1 towards mid. And A is the most susceptible bomb site right here, right now. But there's no pep in the step from the Flames to take that side of the map right now. It's just Zyphon having a bit of a looky-loo.
They are sending the AWPer to A. Okay, so this is going to have some levels to it. Roy denies all information gathering from Snappy. Oh, and you could be careful here, Snappy. There's not too much longer on that smoke. Roy will use it to get across lane as it fades, and now he's in the threatening position of both that CT re-aggression mid. Spinks is hidden behind the red smoke for now. It's Hades towards the donut side for the A react.
They have nobody in A.
Yeah, it's actually worked out really well. You can see that there is a decision to be made now by Diha, and he's just come through. He's got to be cautious on how he gets his info. He could just... Oh, just as the AWP looked away, he meets Diha's M4. Hades, big opportunity and a bit of a meal of that spray. They only have SMGs, Chad. Heavy advantage now for the Flames. The donut smoke means they'll be focusing all of their attention here on Temple's side. Snappy's just thread the needle onto Yabi as he looks away. Timing, a big factor in this round. And now with 20 seconds, this is a big duel and Roy's ready. No issues. There's 12 already on the board. The Flames coming in hot to this major.
And that was a buy again right there, so it will be an eco right now, but that is massive. I think Dihard did a great job even to get one out of that situation, floating on through and finding that kill, but traded out immediately. Hades, yeah, you mentioned he made a bit of a meal of that, a bit of a mess in that situation, felt like he was just a little bit caught off guard by that cross, and HooXi picking up the AWP gets himself 2 massive kills. I thought Spinks in that position as well would have activated to deny the plant, but just gets absolutely denied any territory. And it's just the pistols on out here as the Flames are set for 13.
Yeah, and if anyone's not been keeping the finger on Copenhagen Flames and Ence in terms of their results, this is already so impressive. Consider even just the first game we just saw them play against FaZe. You know, let's not forget, they've just taken down FaZe Clan in the best of 1. But in the last 2 weeks, they've taken down Heroic, Astralis, Outsiders, G2, Bad News Eagles. Maybe not G2, admittedly, but everyone else has been all tickety-boo. The bomb will go down despite an early casualty with this USP round. Spinks has been equipped with a MAC-10 courtesy of that.
Yeah, I'd have to go really wrong to see them lose this one. I don't know how they're going to chip away at any of these fights now that's fortified. And oh, well, the dinks are coming through, but the bomb is down and there's no kit in play. There we go, just taking care of business here. So that 13 more than secured right now as the final few kills are coming on in. Snappy staying threatening over towards Temple, grabs himself an AK and looking to get away with this.
But damn, Flames, they're 3 rounds away from doing what FaZe, Outsiders and Astralis couldn't. Let's find out. 3 rounds is all it's going to take. It is T-side Ancient, certainly not strangers to a CT lockout, and we are going to be seeing every bell and whistle. I say that with a FAMAS in the mix for Diha. Couple of light on the nades.
We could have some crazy 2-0 matches here. The fact that Spirit won just the game ago against Heroic already sets themselves up in a 2-0 match. If Flames are able to pick this one up over Ence, who have been on a hot streak in recent form, then we will have Big versus NaVi and then Cloud9 versus NiP. So the winner of those last 2 games will be joining that 2-0 column here. Will Flames be that second team to join Spirit right now as... Well, again, they do this default. So much presence towards B. They draw a lot of utility out of the CTs. Madden's found an opening fight this time round. That's alleviated a lot of pressure, but they are now bearing down on A yet again, and it is just Hades here.
Time for some redemption. A wobbly spray. Not going to let it define him.
He's on an island here.
And the Flames likely have Molly for that exact spot. Trying to play in the off angle. Was previously in Donut. He has the info on the boost as well, likely. Should they try it? Save from the first. Here comes the second towards his destination. Hades has to move. Hades is burnt down to 20. Fortunately, Spinks is there. Both of them battered and bruised, but still nothing right back from the Flames. Zyphon cut down to 35, but they are into the site. Just 2 of them, though. Spinks, such a threat. Finally, the nuisance has been silenced, but the bomb loose, and nikodos to come up clutch. Gets info on the cross, knows 2 towards the Temple side. Spinks with his low HP is going to find it. Never mind. Over the edge of the smoke. 3 kills from Spinks in the absence of Hades.
Yeah, well, look, it's 1 back here, but they're going to have to get a couple more of those if they want to do some convincing here. And so I know it is the CT side of Ancient, but Flames can stay competitive right here with yet another buy. HooXi is the only one who can't afford. The rest of them can get on in with the complete purchases. HooXi could have even asked for a drop right now from nikodos, but has just opted to go for the Deagle here. nikodos has 3k left over, so could have definitely given him an AK-47, but they're just rushing A. Pedal to the metal, full force, all the way.
They think they've found a gap. They think they've found a recipe for success. Or is it a recipe for disaster? Just the one. Roy already broken down the A defense. HooXi's Deagle fires off a shot, but it's already a bomb plant on A. This is going to be pandemonium, the retake. The nades, there's so many left for the CTs. They've got 3 smokes, Chad, if they want to break through. The T's throw out the last of theirs. Big duel for HooXi, and he's been tagged down to 20. Diha, a very important part of the map being fought for, and on the jiggle, a single bullet finds Diha's head. Problems now. Hooksy's going round behind.
Look at the time.
And there's no time for any of this. They're going to lose it all. Just hold on to what you can. And Flames, an A rush off spawn in a full gun round. And it's successful. It breaks them into a 14th.
That is crazy right there, right? As I mentioned, they could have dropped an AK across the Hooksy. They don't even need it. They just rush out onto the site. They trade off of Hades, who did get the opening kill right there. But how is that so stifling? Right? Normally that site right there is bombarded by bullets, utility. It's normally so difficult to set yourself up. I think that kill from Roy onto Diha took a lot of potency out of that because they didn't have as many pesky players coming on in from Donut, from CT, because Snappy was going around the world. And then once you get in that exchange at that position with Hooksy, it's not an easy clear, right? Because you have to worry about the hard left. He could swing you any time from that straight corridor. And Ence, they're in a lot of trouble here. They did save a couple of guns. They've got a MP9 out with a Deagle. There's nades to work with, but they're chasing their tail. The Flames are the ones who are dictating the pace and setting this up, right? Ence with their aggressive maneuvers haven't been finding themselves in the thick of things, right? When we had Flames going aggressive, they were pushing mid. Hooksy was jumping up. Their aggressive cave. They were swinging together onto lane. They were always between Ence. Right now, Ence in that situation, all on the wrong side of the map, right? All caught out of position, all having to rotate in.
And we talk about the power of conditioning. If you've just proven you can rush A off spawn and win the round against a full gun, you have to acknowledge that in your defense, which will leave gaps elsewhere. Hooksy trying to show mid-presence. There's nothing they can do to push through that.
This is more of a default spread, and understandably so. You have Ence up against the ropes. They're going to siphon through the utility quite quickly here. And once they have done that, you have all the advantages in the world. But on reflection, the Flames have actually used a lot of utility early. They're left over with one smoke, a handful of flashes, and 2 Molotovs here.
Maybe that's all they need. Man's been pretty good at his reads as to when to walk on down this ramp. And that's the end of Snappy. He's been having a tough time with Roy. Another opening kill for the in-game leader of Copenhagen Flames. 60 seconds, careful playing with fire. The nade towards Yabi. Shy, Zyphon tagged, aggressive. And it's still Roy, another in the feed. He's up to 20 as he is taking big leaps and bounds to going up against Ence here. 2-0 looms. Copenhagen Flames with another strong day in the office.
Yeah, this is great from Roy in terms of just taking those fights with Snappy. Right, Hooksy's the menace in mid. He was the menace in mid on that CT side as well. But Roy, it's almost like that swings on out. He's going to grab another here. Roy is just this absolute monster. You speak to this guy, you say, hey, look, you're an older boy, right? You know, what do? I just play a lot of deathmatch. And that's when you have the ability to just set him up, right? Hooksy's able to call him into position, have him as the tank across the map. And then he can pull the strings of the rest of his lads. Just get the young guns, right? You have Zyphon in the server. I was just double checking. I frequent the forums, and I saw a couple of threads talking about just how many hours Zyphon, who is 18 years of age, if I'm not mistaken, has 18,000 hours.
I don't want to try and even do the maths.
18,253.
Yeah, so if he was playing when he was born, it's 1,000 hours a year.
Yeah, not too bad from old Zyphon, right? Living and breathing the game right here.
Yeah, I realised I called Roy the in-game leader there. I apologise. I not forgotten of Hooksy's power. I think it's just an easy assumption to make when you see his age in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah, the elder statesman of the team, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's still fragging up a storm. He's kind of had a second life.
Well, he wasn't the star on Mad Lions, was he?
Nope.
Right, on Mad Lions, Roy wasn't the star whatsoever. Sphinx here, going to lose it all, and well, they're going to run him down in time. Could have put their bodies on the line, but just going to be saved right there. Does keep 1 M4 across, but the cash is light. Ence in trouble. I don't know how else we can spell this. This is fantastic from the Flames.
I haven't seen Ence look this human so far here in Antwerp.
I did not expect Flames to be able to operate in this capacity because of how close the game was against the Eagles.
Yeah,
right. That was a 16-14 game where if clutches weren't given over, Flames could have lost it. And now against Ence, they're getting business done 15-8.
It's also quite a luxury when you do play the map and then play it directly after. You can kind of tighten up the ship, trim any of the loose threads and oopsies of that first Ancient, and it's definitely looking like a very regimented squad here for the Flames. Ence trying an aggressive maneuver. The counter molly is in. The spray, oof, does find niko down to 39. And they are battling for this control now very effectively. No opening kill to be found. Hades is actually flirting with aggression on that mid L-bend. It's Yabi's responsibility, but at least Hades will be a bit of an early warning sign. Any steps he hears will help and aid in a rotate, because for now it is just going to be D here again, and a Deagle is not the perfect weapon for the job.
What are you meant to do as well in a retake with one flash?
A single flashbang is all they have. Okay, so yeah, a D her double Deag, or this goes horribly wrong. And Flames.
Oh, it might
start to commit. Spinks has found one, but it's all onto D here. He is going to try and play it passive, hope for a close quarters. This is a big one for Hades. He's let it slip. And down there goes another. This seems like the Flames are going to take it 16-8, and only 3 CTs to try and voice concerns. Make it 2. Snappy down. Spinks trying to be the hero of this round. He does have Madden in tow. 3 Danes looking to go 2-0. Nice again from Madden. Siphon comes out of the corner. It is all onto Spinks. Time half gone. He's got 2 to find. He has to force these fights, and they're bringing it to him. 1 through the box. 20 HP. The Flames will sail into the 2-0 category. Spirit first, raising an eyebrow. Copenhagen Flames with no sweat into the 2-0 category.
And that was pretty cushy, wasn't it? They just walked that one home right there. Fantastic work on that T side to close things down, and just beautiful Counter-Strike across the board. They got it done. And in good fashion. I'm really excited to see Flames in this event, right? This team, after the last major, we thought they were going to get signed by a big org, find themselves with some of those partner team slots and be in the big events competing in the Tier 1 Counter-Strike. They had to go back to the doldrums of the Tier 2 online realms, and they were having a bit of a rougher go over there. That's why I called them landers before, right? When they come to the major, the biggest event we have, they do their absolute best work, and looking quite dejected here is Snappy and Co, because it wasn't a close game. They got blown out 16-8 here. Beautiful stuff from the Flames, and these plucky youngsters, they do it again.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people watching as the Copenhagen Flames story seemed to be cut short. Everyone's talking, who are they? Who's going to pick them up? These guys are the most promising prospects. And then I do believe that online Tier 2, swallowing your pride, losing to teams you haven't been able to research properly, and I can't believe that they've been able to completely put that to one side and get right back to land form. They just take down Ence. I mean, I read you the list of teams that haven't been able to take down Ence. There's only one that's been able to beat Ence in recent history, and that was G2, who are, as we saw, very competitive with NaVi earlier on in the day. So really, really big scalp, and a lot of praise, I'm sure, to be hailed towards Copenhagen Flames. We do have the panel waiting in the wings, so let's hear what they have to say.
Absolutely, a lot of deserved praise for the Flames. Unbelievable. And I also like the chat at the end there, kind of laid it out in terms of, the road since the Stockholm Major. Well, it's a pretty good record if you're going to show your best Counter-Strike at the Major, I presume, Pimp.
For sure. It was a Cinderella story during the Stockholm Major. Then afterwards, it was a terrible period, up and down. Couldn't really figure out where they were going to play. Would they stay in Flames? Would they go to Complexity? There was rumors about cloud9. As a player, that must be difficult to deal with, obviously, so you can give them a bit of a cushion in that regard. But we must admit that every single time they come into a big tournament, we saw it during the RMR, going 3-0, highly surprising, beating NiP 2-0. Now coming into this major, they're now 1 series away from being, one of the first teams to qualify for the playoff. I am thoroughly impressed with what I see from Flames right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're super well drilled. Like, every single time I see them in flanking positions. They're all chilling, they're waiting, they're not overextending, they're always together. They have that unison of their playing. You see it. You see how well drilled they are. And they've always been that kind of good prep team. HooXi, I know, is a super hard worker, and he demands it out of every single person on the team. And it's showing right here.
Yeah, Pimp, you used the word gimmicky, and I think maybe some people may interpret that in a different way, but it does also mean studying the setups, putting in the hours. We heard it about Zip and there. Same thing for HooXi, and it's starting to show. And I wanted to pull up round 22 for against Ence rather, but for the Copenhagen Flames, because they had a little bit of a setup and they caught Hades out twice, being able to break into the site.
They kept on pouncing and pouncing and pouncing on Hades. That was part of the preparation you talked about right here. Very simple, a couple of smokes exploding in towards the A bomb side, and that's it, round over. They did it so many rounds. They even finished the very last round of the game doing the exact same thing. It was clear to me to see the Copenhagen Flames have located a weakness within the Ence defense, defense, and they kept on pounding and pounding and pounding. And I also do want to say, Ence, why don't you adjust to it? You left haters alone so many times, and it cost you more or less the entire game.
Yeah.
I want to use this point because of how much they struggled on their first side. They had to use 3 pauses, and their coach had to save it until literally the last moment to make adjustments, and it was way too late. So they only had 1 pause on the CT side, and that's why I think they couldn't make those adjustments in time.
Was it disappointing to you that Ence, who we've seen being a team that can bounce back within rounds based on individual prowess as well as problem solving, was not able to solve this problem?
I think one of the key things that Flames did really, really well was neutralizing these cave pushes I usually see from Ence, where they just pound out and just go and clean up the whole place. They utilized the timing of their utility so that they could constantly contact and group towards that A site. With Hades, a few times were left alone, and they actually played out those post plans super well as well, which is not an easy thing to do on A.
I'm sure if you ask Ence after this game, right, they never felt comfortable moving around the map. You talked about the flank positions all of the time being set up by Copenhagen Flames. Whenever Ence were in a situation where they had to rotate over to help Hades, they were never comfortable moving around the map. There will always be a guy in middle flanking, hiding somewhere, so you can't use middle as a rotation path. Then you're stuck in CT spawn, who they just kept on re-smoking time after time after time. So it was clear to me to see that Copenhagen Flames set themselves up for the success, which is also why I want to give them the majority of the credit here. A little bit disappointed in Ence. I expected more, but Copenhagen Flames, they played a perfect counter.
Yeah, they were super annoying to play against as well, right? And I do think for Ence, it's back to the drawing board then. And it's kind of tricky with me for Ence because I feel like a lot of people are starting to really buy into the project, into the hype because of the results to back it up. But then something like this happened, right? So it's all about how they are going to bounce back. But as an aside, Spirit and the Copenhagen Flames are 2-0. If you think about the possibilities there, some other teams are going to feel the fire on their feet in terms of what they have to do to make it to the playoffs.
It's going to be crazy. Like the 1-1 games tomorrow, right? You're going to have FaZe in there. You're now going to have Ence in there. You potentially
Heroic.
have T2 in there. Heroic. It's going to be crazy. It's almost like the 1-1 games are where all the favorites meet. And as you said, you know, a potential Spirit versus Copenhagen Flames in a 2-0 game. That'll be interesting.
It's crazy. Copenhagen Flames at Stockholm, they also had 2 chances to make it, but we won't remind them of that. We will just praise them for how good position they are in now with that 2-0. Super impressive. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with our next matchup, Big versus NaVi.
Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG Bet. This is real.
Welcome back, everyone. Time for Big versus NaVi. What a great matchup. They both won their opening matches, Big over Imperial and NaVi over G2, which was such an interesting and exciting game, which they'll probably be very happy that they were able to pull out in the end. But that does give us quite a spicy one. Now, Big, I think, still the underdog in this matchup, but you can't count them out. They made it here 3-0 through the RMR, beating outsiders and FaZe. Yeah. So when it comes to their track record, they didn't steal it, their spot at the Major, and they're looking to emphasize that once again versus NaVi.
I'd say they're looking to cement themselves as one of the teams we can count on going into the playoff, perhaps, right? I feel this is a great test. Obviously, it's a best of one, so there's that caveat to it. We don't get to see them in a best of three just yet, but I think the way Big qualified, as you so beautifully laid out right here, was impressive. Crimbo played well, Tapson played well, and the team of Big just seemed like it was a new, fresh look, right? They got rid of Keto, brought in Crimbo, and the way Big Clan is playing right now, there's nothing that really tells me they should be able to play in the playoff.
No, I think it makes them a little bit more of a consistent team also bringing in Crimbo, because Keto usually had like very on and off performances, and nothing against a great player, but Crimbo has really shown like some crazy amazing moments. Like even in the game, I remember the last game was like he was CT vent and he was able to bring like 3 with him in a situation that he shouldn't have.
It's crazy. You know, I remember when the big move happened, they said we're bringing in Faven. It's like the biggest move in the German scene. Yeah. He's been anchoring great, but it's been all about Crimbo, right? On trial, but now definitely a sure bet for the side of Big. And we wanted to highlight him in this one versus NaVi. Crimbo versus Perfecto, who are similar, but yet so different.
Yeah, I feel like every time we see Crimbo play, we get to learn more about him, right?
Yeah.
He's still a relatively new player to the scene, but we do see him being put into a role where he's clutching a lot. We saw that a lot during the RMR. Pulled off, I think, 6, 7, 8 clutches in that tournament. Some of them very, very impressive. 1v3s, 1v2s, and we know Perfecto. He's a known quantity in those clutches. Yeah. Now, I like the style Crimbo is clutching in, because you brought it up so perfectly in the green room when we discussed it, Devil, that Crimbo is more like a wildcard in a sense, where Perfecto always makes the right play in a sense.
Yeah. And I've talked at length about Crimbo as well with my old IGL Crystal. He created a team with him before he went to the big academy, of course, and he used to spam me, literally spam me with how good Crimbo was and is, of course.
Yeah, and I think it's high praise to be put in this graphic, right, and put across from someone like Perfecto, but then we also can't kind of undercut what Perfecto has done. I think in this match versus G2 specifically, he was needed at some times in earlier parts in that game, right? We call him Big Brain often as well. So let's see how that plays out. I'd like to look at the offers as well. How can we not? Searson and Simple. Some beautiful shots from Simple today again in that G2 match. What do we think?
Simple is Simple, right? He needs no further introduction. The best player ever to touch this game. So let's talk a bit about Searson.
Okay.
Let's talk about Searson. He's a player that has a period, you know, during COVID, he was also one of the best in the world with AWP. He had a really good period where he made it to the top 20 list of all individual players out there. There's been this question mark surrounding Searson a little bit. Can he perform as well as he did during COVID online? And I've seen glimpses of it. I haven't seen the same amount of consistency, but that's where it falls with me. If online Searson, you know, the consistency he brings onto the online games, if that transfers into the LAN environment, I will start to back up Big to be a team that can be very dangerous. But I need to see it, especially going up against a guy like Simple, who is, as said, one of the best in the game.
Something that's special, I think, about Searson is the way they set up moves around him. I've stolen a bunch of stuff that he actually have done for my players, and they usually set up very aggressive early map control takes with his AWP, and then he just sits there, waits until he can punish someone in a move.
Something I love about Searson, you said it so beautifully right here. They set him up in an aggressive position, but he's the type of AWP player who takes a shot, falls back, finds a new position, takes a shot, falls back, takes a new shot, falls back. Very safe, very methodical, but not a player that dies in opening duels. More or less, he's punishing other guys, you know, trying to go for the openings.
And because of the explosiveness rather, that Crimbo has been able to bring, that is balancing out. But here we're getting a look at NaVi. Of course, I feel like it's kind of their mission, right? They have all this stuff going on around them, which is obviously hard for them to deal with, but they're trying to regain that final boss status, right? They're trying to regain that #1 spot in the world. Beating G2 in your opening match at the Major, I think, is a great start-off point, but what will they have to look out for so that they don't fall to a surprisingly good Big?
continue down the same path, you know, take that great experience from G2 and just continue to play well. I think for Navi, it's very important to, as you said, understand that there's a lot of stuff going on around them right now. A lot of the players can't even live at home anymore. They live, you know, elsewhere in a foreign country, yet they're still coming into the major seemingly well prepared. So I expect a lot from Navi, but I also do respect the fact that right now it would be natural if Navi needs a couple of games before they're up running 100%.
Yeah, but they're also this team, every time you watch them, there's a crazy game, like something crazy is about to happen. And they're so good in clutches, but I want to bring up the mentality they had in that G2 game. I thought it was over. I thought G2 had full control, and then Simple comes and clutches it out and brings it back. They bring it to overtime, and they could actually close it out. That shows a lot of resilience.
It does. I have a wonderful quote from Blade, actually, that he gave in an interview to HLTV. He said, yes, we have problems emotionally. Everyone is not exactly in the right place, but we need to realize that if each player does not give 100%, we're going to regret it in the future anyway. And I think that resilience is something out of Navi that we have always seen that is also incredibly poignant when it comes down to the clutches that need to be made at times. But we're going to Ancient again. It's like it's the only map that can be picked today.
You want to hear a stat that is not really too good if you look at the big side?
Sure.
It is 231 days since Navi last lost a game on Ancient. They are unbeaten on the map in the past 6 months. It's been a while. Navi are one of the best teams in the world on Ancient. They are consistent on it. They don't play it a lot because people don't want to play it against them, so they remove it. So I'm a little bit afraid for Big.
Talk to me through why Navi is so good on Ancient. What's their setup?
Oh, everything they do, right? Simple roaming around with AWP. They have a very good cave player as well. Perfecto playing the A role perfection, I would say. Ancient to me is a clutch map as well. You have a lot of 3v3 retakes happening on both A and B, and Navi is just one of the best teams in the world in order to stay cohesive, stay together, and play with synergy in those moments.
Yeah, I really want to highlight they're one of the best teams in the world when they lose an entry. They are so good at bringing it back, even if a player goes down early. They have that, ability, and I think that is why they're so hard to beat.
Wow, how do you beat a team that's fine even if they lose the entries, right? Let's see a bit of a playground here for Navi, but maybe Big can show us something even more than they have already and beat the Juggernaut. Let's see.
Juggernaut's notoriously big, Efja, and we'll have to see if the Germans can match that misnamer. I don't know what to expect with this one. The bookies seem to have already started digging the grave for Big Clan. Navi is a titan.
Yeah, have they forgotten God B's back? And he's pretty nerdy, and it's on Ancient, the newest map in the pool. So maybe once they get towards that T side, we can see something a little bit funky in the play here. But Crimbo and Faven, we're talking about all these major debutantes. They are definitely so, right? We had the warm-up game for Navi, the major grand final rematch that went overtime on Mirage right there. But now we get stuck in with Big, who I think they've definitely been turning a lot of heads in recent times.
This would turn heads.
Crimbo, right, has really kicked them up a gear, and now got B back in the mix here, back in the coaching chair. Let's see how far this team can go. Perfecto flash into cave early here. Has to deal with Julie's on the other side in the hands of Tabson.
Yeah, roll of his shoulders. He heard steps, so he knows that he is to be tested. Ooh, brazen on the repeak. He does hold that tight line. Trying to repel bit, though. Just a Glock is all he needs. Navi put the first in the feed. Simple up ramp. They have cave. Slow and steady wins the race. Faven. Oh, wow. Bit just forces him off. Nice taps, and Simple unable to finish. But already the whole site is now covered in Navi members. They need to take some space back. They have no site control. Tizian makes that clear. Oh, just shy. I don't know how Tizian survived. And now from the flank, Crimbo does strike onto Simple. Electronic one. Oh, Crimbo. Not bad at all anymore where that came from. 2 remain, likely cave, they say, and it's Bit still on that box. Both now confirmed. It's the clicks now. The duel. Bit is doing it all for Navi. 3 with this Glock. He is on the defuse. A full 10-second, not going to happen. And just the 2 of them, they'll make it through. 4 out of Bit. He starts that round, and he single-handedly closes.
He was massive for them as well within the earlier throws over there on Mirage against G2 here. So massive stuff for Bit as well. And we've always talk about the mechanical ability of this individual right here. I think he's taken over the moniker of being the headshot machine in Counter-Strike ever since we've lost Scream. But this kid is just a monster. A great opening as well from Crimbo to get into play with 2 big kills. He's a name that I think we need to start becoming familiar with shouting at the top of our lungs right here, because for German Counter-Strike, it's been tabseN. SyrsoN has his moments, but they always felt like they were lacking firepower. If Crimbo is that individual who steps on up, seemingly from nowhere as far as Tier 1 Counter-Strike goes and being on our screens, this would be great, right? This would be great. tabseN could actually have some help.
It is cool to see how quickly these rising stars can be put into teams like this.
Well, this is the thing, right? FaZe was the individual who, you know, is in Sprout for a while, and he was the one putting the firepower downrange for them. And it's like, okay, yeah, once he gets added to the mix, Big might take a step on up. But sure, he's been added. Sure, he's been able to find some contributions. But really, I think that Crimbo is the individual that has changed the whole dialogue around this team. A little bit skew if right there on the spam. One and done. FaZe will find the trade off of tabseN, pick on up the Mac 10. How much more damage will NaVi sustain as they have made their way out onto A?
Our defending Major champions clear their corners eventually, after a couple of warning shots out of Tizian, and he is going to grab another. So good cash injected into the bank account of Electronic, a safe plant, uncontested. And then more cash as well. But yeah, like, returning to the Crimbo conversation, another 18-year-old, 19 I think maybe now.
I think he's 19.
Okay, so another teen. And then on the other side of things, you know, Bit doing the same thing. So you've got Monacy, Bit, Crimbo. How many of these 18-year-olds are just immediately just getting plonked into a top 5 team and thriving? I mean, it's not how it used to go, Chad. It's not how it used to go.
No, and I think the thing is, being in this team who has a bit of experience around it now, obviously, with the likes of Tizian and tabseN, who felt like they've been here forever. I'm curious if now that they have Crimbo and FaZe, and that Godby's gone, all right, well, now I will coach Counter-Strike. Now I have a team that I think can win. If that's brought him back to the, I want to say the dark side, but pretty sure he was over there in Valorant qualifying in events and whatnot, and he's gone, you know what, I'm going to come back and coach the boys.
Yeah, I mean, Big Clan and the German Counter-Strike have always just been close to deep playoff runs.
Finally a full German team as well. No Smooya, no xantares, right?
They're coming knocking on A. We discussed his prowess, and he's just going to have an Angel with Bit. I wouldn't fancy his chances. And actually, neither does FaZe, and he'll back away. Call for aid in the form of Tizian.
They're giving up the space here. I think Tizian's trying to line something up for them to work around. Yeah, this might be a smoke that they can one way around. You can see he's trying to poke himself in the corner here. So yeah, lobs that one forward, gives them something to live forward and play behind.
I kind of like it. You can see FaZe knows what to do with it because it gives him this angle to stop that cross. Electronic, bomb on the floor thanks to FaZe's M4. And more in mid. syrsoN has taken down that ledge lurk. It does mean that the majority and the whole body of this assault is now just grouped up on A. The door to be locked by a slow crawl out of syrsoN. Big out of simple, quickly meets that trade, and FaZe has got 3. Coming to his site, he leaves with 3 scalps on his belt, and Big Clan passed their first test on A.
Yeah, who thought that they would have a filthy little one-way smoke to work with right there? This is Big we're talking about after all. Always have something a little bit odd in terms of the execute and utility department, and we see that in the early stages of Ancient here. So first gun round has been confirmed. NaVi should be able to get something that resembles a buyout here, but I think there'll be some omissions. A couple of Tech-9s, a couple of AK-47s. Yuto is there, and this time around a bit more pressure over towards mid and B early. Trying to create a gap for himself to work around.
Oh, it looks like there's more Big Clan antics to be lined up.
Looks like a cave smoke in the hands there a bit, so once they know that tabseN's in cave, if they just want to circumvent him, smoke it off and just beeline in towards the site and try and deal with Crimbo here, who's lobbed out one of his own design. That'll stall them out till about the 1 minute mark.
It looks like they want to throw util on the fade and a full commit. Now there will be quick first responders. You can see the 2-man mid setup will be quick to the ledge. tabseN does still have his smoke. Oh, he's run down and deleted, clotheslined by a Tech-9.
Maybe don't smoke code now.
Perfect weapon for the job, and already they're going to flood in. Smokes are in the air, and bodies are on the deck. Crimbo's gone. Big Clan going to struggle to get themselves back into this round. It might be a better call just to let them have it.
Syrsont's in cave already. He found that kill onto Electronic. The pressure's coming. They're boxed in.
Yeah, and Faven's already cleared long. They're all on the site. So many bodies. Another one for Tizian. 2 on 2. Low is Boomich, trying to find anywhere just to hide and rot the clock. Searson late from cave. They will head CT. This is actually Tizian's job. Oh, he's got Boomich. Simple to come up clutch. They know where he is as well. Perfect. Searson should be able to have this dead to right. A flash and a smoke, and a great retake out of the German squad.
Oh, timeout called here. And I want to reflect on their earlier match of the day against Imperial. Now, GodB called a timeout after the first 3 rounds on the CT side of Nuke. After they had just started, they were kind of close early, and then Big went and separated themselves from the Brazilians, got themselves up to a 14-4 lead. But I just want to reinforce the fact here that Gob is happy to be liberal with the timeouts in the early stages. Now, this is just to help the team reflect on what might be coming. They know the bomb went down. They know that they lost 3 individuals they're big that they will have to reinvest into. So just having a bit of a conversation here is Gob, conferring with tabseN, and maybe you've only been watching Counter-Strike over the last couple of years. Well, GodB is a legend of the German Counter-Strike scene. Going back into the 1.6 days, he played in Mousesports, who now is an international team. But that is back when Mouse were one of the best squads in the world under GodB's leadership. And then coming into CSGO, tabseN in the early days had GodB as his in-game leader, right? They had NRG, they had a bunch of rosters there, they had Legia in the mix, we even had names like PTR. It does get a little bit crazy when I start talking about the Fuglies and stuff of the world when they were over there in North America living in Vegas, but tabseN learnt from GodB, and now he has him back behind him as the coach.
See what that timeout has led them to change and alter or just be aware of. 2 smokes landing in A immediately. You can see Faven will not have that one way, but does delete Bit just as he rounds the corner. And you can hear NaVi have flooded the site, but Faven's coming through, loses his life. Tizian is in close proximity for the bubble, but gets nothing done. Searson's charging towards the A halls. The flank will be quick.
It's always Searson.
Yeah, nice to see him activated early. And back turned. Electronic was not ready for this so quick. Oh, and bursting into Simple. He does not react in time. Big, making light work of this retake. I say that as Boomich has somehow pulled 2 out of his arse. Holding. Trying to contest it. The smoke might force the push. This is cheeky. They can't find the knife to the back. And there's going to be just enough time to get that defuse through. Whoa, there must have been half a second on. You can see Perfecto just pulling out the butterfly into the spine, but a second too late. Searson's flank, the reason they get away with that.
Yeah, can you imagine just sitting the defuse in this situation? tabseN knowing the only way was forward through those smokes. Searson bodyguards too little, but not too late. Round confirmed. Beautiful stuff right there. And Searson actually went into that round with only an MP9, so the fact that they pull that one off, he can get the big green out now.
Do love a bit of a Searson orb.
So does he.
Yeah, he really does, and he's going to be activated early towards the cave position. 3 members of NaVi dispatched to that side of the map, 2 through mid, one of them being Simple himself. Ooh. Tagged up, Crimbo known, Boomich. Actually taking a lot of beating through the boards there. That FAMAS brings him low, and that nade will put him 6 feet lower. Buried alive is Crimbo, gone. 4 on 4, and it will slow down.
Good exchange right there, right? Boomich obviously gave up his life for that territory, and Perfecto trading on back is actually huge during all of this. Faven heads up play, quite active to take back some main control, and actually wants to push the issue here. Electronic, how ready are you for this one?
Yeah, wow, big. It's surprising to see so many early CT info pushes, but Faven not ready for Electronic. Just tucked into the L-bend safe.
And he has 7 kills. He's been the thorn in their side every time they've gone towards A. Now they have 7 seconds on the clock and the map to work with, but Tizian with a reaggress. Electronic's about to get caught knife in hand. He's a dead man. 3, I was going to say on 3, but now 3 on 2. They have to go B. They know the A aggression's in. There's one way forward, no way back.
We haven't seen tabseN activated yet. Round 6 may be his turn. His moment in the spotlight. He's only got a FAMAS against 3 vicious NaVi players. Timing it right. Waiting for the clear. Simple. Knows. Can't contest the plant. Cave, nothing to report. And actually does get away with it. Should be a trade, but no. Big goes down as well. Monstrous from tabseN. And Simple to come up clutch. Cross is in the right place, but a quickie out of tabseN. Damn! He does activate when he needs to. And it will be big, extending their lead. AWP for Searson recovered, but everyone pulling their weight. It was Tabson's turn.
Just steps on now, and Dink's simple there, right?
Dink's him too, bro.
Big Dink's him right there, that's for sure. Like, that was massive work from him.
Let me see it again. Do we get it?
Yeah, it's the Dink on the way on out. Simple's rattled immediately, and Tabs, a massive play from him. 4-2.
He's got such a stone face. You know, sometimes we've seen Big very quick to celebrate their victories in the midst of a best of one. It seems like Godby's brought a calming presence to them. It just is a case of, we know what the final objective is. We're leaving today with 2 wins and 0 losses. But I mean, the first game, one thing. The second is up against NaVi. Imperial and NaVi on very different ends of the spectrum in this Legend stage.
Yeah, that's for sure. Sure, both have major wins, but one's been in recent history. I can't believe that one right there. The fact that Electronic was able to get away with that kill on that Faven push in the open of middle like that as well. You think at that point the round's done, but the regress from Tizian was beautiful right there. It forced NaVi towards B, and then the in-game leader steps up and delivers with 3 massive frags. Even retains that AWP for Searson to have another crack with that. Now a timeout taken for Blade, the coach of NaVi, to chip on in and have a conversation here. Money does equate to a buy. Galil's the emissions. No AK in the hands of Bit or Boomich, but out mid again.
Okay, Electronic, woof, deletes Tizian, and Faven's his next victim. We know how rounds could go. Very quick here on Ancient, sticking around. Searson can't afford to stay too long.
Yeah, nice deep molly there. Util alone will push that AWP back, and well, that's the 2 more A-heavy members already removed from the piece, but the pace from NaVi is allowing the rotation to come back on over here. There's no commitment. Bomb is quite literally still down in T-spawn, about to be scooped on up from Perfecto. And as they gather the troops, they gather the forces and head back towards A, mid is about to be called clear. Tabson and Crimbo could be over towards this A site to make it a very jarring prospect for NaVi just to get this bomb down, and they have a 2-man advantage.
Yeah, Donut's occupied, nothing reported by Searson's up. Now the util's landing on A, so Crimbo's reaction is everything here. He actually advancing through and to the smoke. They're going to boost. Might have an angle here. Simple's so close. They heard that. But still vision. And actually enables them to hold this boost. See if they can just find a way in. Boomich is about to be the round winner if he's required. And now just to take all of it away. Nope. That AWP is mine and Crimbo is his last. Lovely from Boomich. You can see what that means to him. They know just how good a clean T round, taking everything away from your CTs. This is going to be a change of momentum, shifting from what was Big Clan straight back to Natas Fincere.
Yeah, been quite back and forth in these opening stages here. And as you mentioned, as you prefaced, it is going to be down into the doldrums as far as the buy is concerned. That was only 1,400 loss bonus injected in towards the bank balance. So Electronic with these 2 massive kills. The round felt done here, but there were still moments where it could have fallen apart. You see the beak there sticking over the top, and well, Boomich closing it all down, and they are actually going to force Spy in.
Oh, good timing. You see the restraint from Tizian, waiting for the flames to arrive before he does advance, but advance he will. Simple is posted. You don't have to go further than this, but he does! And look, Electronic catches the first 50 caliber round right to the skull. Advantage big. AK retrieved. Problems now for NaVi. They have nothing to celebrate. Maybe B, as Boomich turns the corner and confirms that they do have access to lane.
Yeah, this is a real issue because they don't have mid control. Sure, there's plenty of time on the clock right here, but you're scratching your head in terms of where the rest of the members of Big are. You know they've scooped up that AK, so that now lies in wait. Could be a gamble stack and a half here out of Big, though. Look at the rotation back on over. They're hedging their bets completely towards B.
It's the wrong call.
Yeah, if Bit pokes his head in towards A, within the next 5 to 10, they should be able to usher their way in, but the chessboard that is Ancient right now, they've taken back the B lane control. These pistols are still a threat here if they get a move on now.
As soon as that bomb's down, should be a NaVi round. Admittedly, though, it's not yet planted, so time for them to close this gap is elapsed.
Do they hang around and look for a kill, or do they hold on to their goodies and play with it again into the next? Because they will have to eco next round. So with the bomb planted, with the site being fortified, maybe the safe call is the best option. Perfecto with some warning shots there, and yeah, okay, playing the percentages are big. It is the right call to make. It's not the exciting one, but It will allow NaVi to tie things up 4-4. It also allows Big to be threatening into the next, where otherwise it would just be USPs.
So while we wait for this bomb to blow up, let's play a game. People are watching, as well as you, Chad. Can we look at Boomich, please? Can we look at that AK?
Oh, okay.
So how much do you think this AK is worth?
Is this, are we doing it like higher or lower?
Yeah, whoever gets closest out of us two, because someone's going to do the research for us. But it looks like a... Oh.
Well, I reckon before it fell out of his hands, it was worth $150,000.
Bloody hell.
Someone made it, I don't know if this is real, because I only quickly checked on the interwebs, but I saw a thread about Brokey's knife. And someone said something like 1.5 million, and that can't be the case. 1.5 million for a CSGO skin.
I mean, geez, Louise, maybe. I know that there's a lot of very expensive stickers on Boomich, case hardened as well. Is it a blue gem? I don't know.
Well, if Zipple or any of these guys who love their skins out there, let us know, because we're fish out of water in this regard.
It looks pricey. That's all I know.
I thought you knew. That's why you were luring me into the conference. That's why I said 150. It's probably worth nothing.
No, dude, it is definitely worth something. I can tell you that much. I'd probably argue maybe 70, 80,000, something crazy.
Yeah, still a ridiculous amount of money. A
for
deposit
a virtual,
on a house, a car.
For a virtual AK-47. Look at it. It is pretty. Titan, iBuyPower, some names that have been and gone.
Where are the Vox stickers? That's what I'm saying.
2014. It was a while ago now.
Tell me about it. And we've actually already had a while of this round gone by. Flash forward, Boomich with some space, posturing for mid control here. Smoke forward, Tizian with that AK still, and the fight coming on through. Sirison dealt with.
He gets his one chance, and Tizian will surely activate. No, Boomich plies his prize AK. Faven should be set for a click. Yeah, a bit too quick with the jiggles. Gets info, gets the headshot, and Big, the second bite of the cherry, still sour.
Yeah, felt like it should have been a little bit more threatening than this. Now you go, well, maybe they should have gone for that A retake. They go around the world, back over towards A. Don't want to take any risks here as the pack mentality is dealing... Well, it's not the pack, is it? It's Electronic Solo, takes down tabseN, just the one man, Crimbo. Let us know if the Twitter sphere is lighting up with the info we desire. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who may be tuning into Counter-Strike for the first time. Are these guys serious? Are they talking about digital currency?
Bit of a topic of conversation these days.
Yeah. One that I'm sure most people don't want to have.
Certainly not now.
Well, Crimbo, the young gun. 5-7 in hand, and we'll just wait 20 seconds for this bomb to go on off. But it is NaVi taking the lead here. 5-4, the score is going to read.
Happy to see that Crimbo's already learning from tabseN. You know, not only just in-game, but out of game. He's employed the gaming pillow strategy, gives you that back support. If you're going to be playing nose to the screen, at least have some lumbar support.
Do you think he BYOs, or do you think it's a hotel pillow?
BYOP? Yeah, I'm not sure, actually. I was admiring tabseN's. It did look like a bit of a, a unique one. It wasn't from the bed. That's all I knew. All right, so NaVi just centering themselves. 5-round, good T-Hall. Big initially starting strong. Let's not forget that NaVi did pick up the pistol. So 4 CT rounds consecutive responded to by NaVi with 3 of their own.
Do they want to try and activate Sirison's AWP, or do they just want to allow him to AWP over towards A, right? You can leave him to his own devices. He can lock down that side of the map, no dramas whatsoever. Oh, looking for the boost here in the smoke. You can see them already having that conversation. Electronic will mantle up on the head and looking for Tizian. He's going to find him here, surely.
Oh, didn't see him. Didn't see him. The warning shot's come through. Boomich will not be able to find it. Thought a pre-fire was coming. Simple at least manages business. Not going to fall foul to any sort of escape out of Tizian.
He's lucky to get one there, really, isn't he? On our screen, looks like he should have been dead to rights right there, but just not able to find the vision required.
And it's on the fade. They're actually both playing it. Rare to see. And just taking this space. Faven's only on the jiggle, so... Ooh.
Saw something.
Electronic. He's definitely looking sharp, isn't he? 9 already. Puts his name in the feed again here, round 10. Smoke deployed to really sow seeds of doubt. Now, Sirison is the unknown entity in all of this.
He could be a real problem here. There's no pressure from main. He could take pot shots in towards A, and he's not being accounted for.
He's not accounting for Electronic either. Hidden in his scope. Playing it passive. His first shot is so crucial. If it's not Onto someone, yeah, if it's a miss like that, he loses a lot of its potency. Problems now, Searson unable to deny the plant. A nice retake smoke to try and close the gap, but Perfecto has full vision of this, simple as well. I mean, what are they supposed to do? There's 3 of them there already. It looks like Searson's going to save his AWP.
Yeah, I'm surprised Tabson even had that much of a inquisitive glance there, and he might even get punished for this as the hunt's coming on through. Bit's going to step on out, sees 2, shots fired, and away they go. Crimbo denied. And now Tabson to try and save. The hunt is coming. 1 is all he can muster as Bit will rip that M4 out of his hands, and Searson's not too far away either here.
They really are coming. Searson's got company.
Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot.
Oh! Oh, that's scary scenes. Scary scenes. You know eventually the left swipe's coming.
The demeanor of NaVi is actually kind of scary right now as well. They're just getting it done. And the stoic look on their face, they're just round after round starting to pile on the pain here. A 2-round lead, you mentioned it before, 5 on the T-half of Ancient is pretty good. Now, the only positive that I can see coming in the favor of Big once we do get onto that second half is this man here doing a lot of the talking has come up with some crazy map-defining approach with some geek-level utility to catch NaVi off guard, right? That's where I'm going to put a lot of my eggs into the big basket on a map like Ancient. And I do like this. We are getting legends of Counter-Strike now returning as coaches, like having Blade as well, right? He's a very fabled individual as well from the region.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
these are Titans now who are just like all standing and clashing, and these are names that if you are an old egg like me and you would have seen them playing back in 1.6 days or early CSGO days as well, as the game's been out for bloody 10 years.
Yeah, and this is the fallout of it. What a luxury we have to have. I mean, the likes of Crimbo probably watching God B.
He would have been like 5 or 6 years of age when Godby was competing in Mouse back in 2008. Ready, willing, and able. What
there they go. Wow, so quick into it. They know they're up against a light buy, so there shouldn't be too much to complain about. Careful now. Perfecto's gone down, and they're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. Courtesy of Bit, he manages to pull 2 to finish what both of his teammates started. But they know they're up against light buy. They are quick to pull the parachute and elope back to spawn.
But there's 2 AKs that were delivered on towards B that can be scooped on up, right? 2 weapons that can be picked on up here during all of this. Crimbo's grabbed 1. Faven can look to grab the other, and both of them have Kevlar. So that's actually pretty tidy. Rerouting, regrouping, and looking for some space towards middle right now. Tizian has not moved a muscle over towards Donut. That Deagle at that range, the back of the dome, if they, well, do want to slip on through, guess what? They're just making sure mid's clear and heading back over towards B. The cutting of the noise has drawn out a rotation, and Faven's still over towards Cave right now. So, yeah, I thought Bit was going to have a look on in. Knowing they're up against pistols, that would not be the decision anyone would advise.
It has actually worked out so well for NaVi, the power of cutting noise. Just looping through mid and bending back on B. The AK hasn't been retrieved, so that's information for NaVi, likely Cave. Safe plant.
Bomb has been planted.
They'll have to rotate through and there won't be a kit. So the very interesting start from Big, managing to actually beat out both Boomic and Perfecto, trying to brute force in. Now Tizian is slightly threatening. You can see that Bit is staring down at this potential engagement.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, he knows where he is. Oh, an electronic has gone down. Suddenly they're going to be under a lot of scrutiny. Oh dear, Tizian's got the dig, and he's got the round as well. Big will take it on the half buy.
Apparently cutting noise works perfectly for both teams. Just lurking out of Cave with the CZ75 in hand. The defuse comes on through. The 5th round is secured right here. But it felt like they had done enough.
Came out of nowhere, that. Faven just walks through. I think it was that 2 retreating down ramp gave Faven the confidence, and Electronic just was not positioned to catch that walk up.
That is wild right there. Bit had the right idea. Looked like the only one in this post line who had the right idea, but he was drawn back into that fight because Simple, he's gone looking elsewhere. If they'd stayed tight, they'd stayed tucked together both on that ramp. They could have played off of each other, but they created gaps with their movements. And Big, that's a huge 5th round to steal away from NaVi.
I mean, this is going to make Ancient all the more competitive now, Chad. A 5th round already now, or tagging up to it. Oh, the nade on top. A very volatile cocktail for NaVi to stomach. There's the nade to finish the job. Searson puts Boomich down. More nades just barraging over. Taps it with a hard clear.
Great
a flash follows it up. This is beautiful. Poetry in motion from the big clan defense.
Looking for the space on A right now. Searson, perfect weapon for the job from Spawn. Looking to lock this.
Simple's barely got an arm left to throw these nades. Oh, wow, nice jiggle again. Bit is just a modern day CS man. Not going to be getting away scot-free. Simple still making that low HP work, but a 2 versus 4 with what? 88 combined. Oh, what a shot. Simple, 2 frags on this scrap of health. And he's making a round out of this. Faven wants to deny the plant. Trajectory betrays him. They know where he's coming from. Still catches Simple on the retreat. Need the last bullet. Faven will get it. And big, they'll tie things up. Neat and tidy.
Oh, looks like he got away with that little filthy one-way again there from that donut one-way. So twice that trick for Faven has been able to find him impact. And sure, that was a round that NaVi really had no business in after the early exchanges going down towards B. But Simple makes it interesting. Of course he does. It's the second one that's impressive. A little bit flicky right there through the corner of the wall. But Big leveling it up here. Showing they're not done just yet. Looks like NaVi were going to run away with it. But now, as you mentioned, a competitive affair. The extinguished Electronic, he's through again. 1 and 2. That's all you need. The can opener of mid. Electronic does it again.
Oh, not done yet. Simple looking for the final nail. And he does nail. Tapson, Crimbo going to be alone on an island on B. And some hero moments required out of the CTs. See how quick when Electronic is set up for those mid fights. The rounds can come tumbling down. Searson, oh, it's a deep smoke. He should be ahead of it, but Bit will brutalize Searson. You see that slow down on your walk through the smoke. Finishes it with body shots. And poor Crimbo.
Now, Crimbo's good. He's had some moments, I think, of people watching that Imperial game on Nuki. He had that one round near CT event that I have no idea how he pulled off. I know it was against the light buy, but if they come towards his side and he was switched on in the right direction, I was going to say he could make a kill or two, but bullet in the back of the head looking the wrong way makes my point look silly. And NaVi back into the winning ways with 7. We're getting towards the tail end here of this first half. Round number 14 about to get underway, and Big don't want to give up just yet. They are going to buy in with what they have. This is twice Electronic has done this pushing out mid. The fact you can get so much out of him, right? 2 rounds basically confirmed by Electronic's double kill in mid. That's massive work.
Yeah, and that's just a little bit of a relief for the NaVi T Hall. Can't expect him to do it again. Searson, deep Molotov, should deny his info. No, actually, it's not quite good enough. And that leads to Boomich being the opening death here. Big would bite your arm off for a 7th here. And with the opening kill, it's advantage to the Germans. Oh, an extended, as Simple just strafes out into the AWP of Searson. Oh, and there's more to be had. Searson plucks Bit on the advance. It's Electronic across. That could be perhaps underestimated. You can see he's got angles to play with. To the bombs in mid, there should be no way that NaVi get back into this. Should being the operative word. Faven on his jiggles. Electronic's been very, very good. But Searson's better today. 4 frags from Searson in the round. A quad kill to put 7 on the board.
Yeah, staying very agile with the AWP there, right? I don't think Simple was expecting that rotation to come in as quick as it did, right? Over towards Cave, then immediately repositions towards the top mid, gets that kill, and then finds the follow-up right there. So back and forth again. Unable to separate these two teams as we do have the B stream update. Furia 2 rounds away from picking up the victory over Liquid and sending them down to the 0-2 column, where Furia will be finding themselves in the 1-1 category. We got FaZe there with their win over BNE. Heroic after their loss to Spirit.
Oh, 1-1 sounds pretty daunting, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's going to put some teams for the third day of play into a very awkward position. More best of ones to come tomorrow, 4 in total over the 2 streams. And jump and incendiary forward to stall out the progressive Boomich here. Oh, Tabs, this is a big fight.
Searson, the little aggression of his own here. Oh, and a miss, but gets away. No harm, no foul. The smoke up and this aggressive play unnoted. They don't know Tizian's here, and Searson's posted up for any inquisitive tease. May have heard the drop off. tabseN, Molotov'd out, trying to hold mid. Oh wow, he adjusts. He had the smoke in his hand and he still takes the head off of Electronic. Tip, spotted, bit with the headshot off the AK. And now they want to pivot. Is it into the clutches of Tizian? He's just got vision back. Two-man donut setup. And whirling through the smoke is Bit activating through Red House. Perfecto to deal with his ramp clear. Crosshairs bang on the money. Is he ready for tabseN? He's more than postured correctly. And that's the double Perfecto. He's been quiet so far, but in the final round, he may have done enough.
This is going to be quick, though. They could deny them getting up. Oh, just the timing that they've slinked on past before that peak's come on through. But both of them are going to be very swiftly either coming through cave or the flank on long. Bomb planted, smoked off for now. 2-on-4. Difficult one for Big to get into here.
How are you supposed to win this one? Catch Simple off guard, but nothing to report. And NaVi leave with a lead after a T-half start. Impressive, but Big competitive. Now, you were talking a little bit about it, Chad, and this is where we do get to see if Big have anything brand new. Whether or not you're whipping it out in this best of one, I think it's a safe assumption that you would. And God be already on the mic.
Yeah, and this is curious, right? How much can you really come up with in modern-day Counter-Strike where you can do a strategy and within 12 hours, YouTube has it up in many different facets, broken down from every single angle, exactly how you throw it, exactly how you used it, and the whole Counter-Strike world knows. So when you have something new, you got to decide how you're going to use it, when you're going to use it. And as you mentioned, this would probably be the best opportunity to do so. If you can put yourself in the 2-0 column in the Legends stage, knowing that Spirit, knowing that Flames lie in that 2-0 boat as well, yeah, you're going to pull it on out.
So, quick smoke to the Red House. CTs respect it. And tap through. 3-man contact crawl into the cave. Perfecto's actually playing a smoke defense, not going to be taking the fight.
Jiggling for info on both the ramp and cave, and he has to delay, has done exactly that. 20 seconds ball, allowing the potential for the rotation to come on over. There'll be no info mid.
He just smoked again.
Hold on a second, so they've smoked him off.
Perfecto has no answer.
It's drawing the rotation.
Yeah, it would.
It's drawing a heavy rotation. Just going to be simple on the site. And just simple, I say. He's actually now greeted with Electronic, who's been having a good game.
Yeah, finger on the pulse. You got a good idea as to what's coming this way. Simple Electronic to get through. And up and over does not render anything. Nice click. Simple 2. 1 through. Faven needs something. tabseN's already equalized. Trying to find it on the jiggles. Deletes another. Faven's gone. And only tabseN looking to come up clutch. He is dancing with them and just gets into the temple for a fresh clip. They'll double peek. He knows it and loses out to Perfecto. Well recovered from NaVi, counting their lucky blessings that they had Simple capable of in that, all of that, picking apart and finding a multi-kill. So NaVi will take that pistol.
Oh, it drew the rotation, didn't it? But Simple didn't move a muscle. And if the big man himself is staying on campus, you can see what he can do, just clicking away with his USP in hand.
3 lovely headshots out of Simple with the USP.
Full eco from Big here. AKs will be coming out into the next round to play. Round 18, we'll see our first gun round. So right now, it's about expending that CT utility, making sure that NaVi have to recycle that and buy it into the next. And if you can get a kill or a plant, that is going to be a bonus, right? Any kills they can get, if they get the bomb down, that's going to be a massive positive here for Big. It'll help bolster the buy. It'll help force NaVi to expend a little bit more cash money, as we can see silenced MP5 in the hands of Bit over towards A right now. You don't see that weapon getting purchased up too often. It tends to be the MP9s or the SMG of choice on the CT side.
Electronic's been a bit of an MP5 fanatic, perhaps. Bit's been bitten by the bug.
I like this little setup they have here, right? So Electronic is jump peeking, Simple is tucked on in towards the cutout in mid. So as soon as they see Electronic top mid, they would be glued and Simple gets a couple of easy kills. But it's the M4 that's in this position, so I was going to say he can't be very mobile. Now he's made himself known. Let's see how many Bit gets over towards A here. Really, you would love to see him deny the plant here if you are a NaVi fan.
Oh, lovely movement, but it really isn't a problem for Bit. He's handled the first and ran out of bullets. So there's the kill, that's the plant, and that's denied. Whew. Just in the nick of time. Electronic gets that, shuts it down. Crimbo's giving it a good go. And they get it. Wow, mission accomplished, Chad. They get 2 frags and a bomb plant out of the full eco.
I'm thinking where did Simple Zen4 go? Because they ran in towards Donut and they didn't scoop it up. I guess because it would have been in the line of sight towards mid. But a part of me thought, hey, did they get that? Did they throw that on top of the Donut right there to deny it? But no. It's been scooped on up by Boomich here. A great round for Big, all things considered. You'd be very, very happy with a round like that. 2 kills and a bomb plant on a full eco. Yes, please. As NaVi, sure, get up to the double digits, but we're about to get into the thick of things now. The rifle's about to come on out, and with that plant, look at how much better the buy is looking at. AWP would not have been possible otherwise, and Tabson's just purchased that one to give over to his star, Sirison, who's found 15 kills so far, leading the way for his team.
Is he going to forget to buy armor? It's an easy mistake. No, thank you. Okay, game on. Advantage big in the weapon department for our 18th round of play. Going through their flowchart early. Utility for containment. Didn't quite nail the flash. CTs are dumping util though. That's the cave player Boomich with the last of his smoke. Gets it down. Molotov to completely lock him into the cave position.
Really, okay, I was going to say push on through. He needs to be very careful with those type of maneuvers when Faven is in a position like that. You can see him giving warning shots. So Boomich, I don't think he'll try that one again as he drops on back. But Donut control, at least it's been poked on in here, so it's threatening.
So, I mean, when you haven't got it occupied, you can see, look at the paranoia. Immediate rotate out of Simple. Not having Donut and not having answers in mid, whilst B is getting knocked on as well. This gets your Feckles up. You can see that was the last defensive smoke they have. Just 2 flashbangs remain on the belt loops of NaVi.
Yeah, it's a good amount of pressure applied right here. Unknown as Donut is, and so is Cave. So as they head on back towards B, there's currently just the one defender here.
Oh, he's going to really sell it. An A smoke towards the temple side. Perfecto and Boomich up against it all. They've still got util. Big Clan have really played this well. NaVi are really going to have no way, no avenue to contest this plant. They're going to have to let it go down, play, regroup, and Flash is great. Just
9
can't
seconds.
contest the plant. Boomich down. Perfecto down as well. A quick flurry from the T side, and now the bomb is planted. It is Bit and Simple, though. Not a pair you'd want to underestimate. But back in a way, they know this one favors the Big Clan boys, and back in a way, they even had a nice boost established to contend with any retakes.
Yeah, wise decision there. If they were actually to peer around that long side, I think Sirison should be good for at least one with that AWP, so could have lost it all here. At least they'll get to retain 2 M4s, but I really like that default approach there of Big. Now the question is, do NaVi want to contend for a bit more map control? We know that their buy wasn't perfect. We know that they had a bit of an issue in the purchases because of what they had lost in the previous. But this is Big Clan looking fantastic on their first default round. You can see Tabson doing similar scenes as to what Boomich was doing on his T side, applying pressure towards B lane, jumping across. But I love this approach. The way that they scaled on out, using this big block as their favor, and then Flash and fighting over towards this long side as a pack. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed that from Big here, as we will see NaVi go into their second tactical timeout. And if Blade has been able to understand that early and adjust going forward, right, this is good. Maybe this is why he takes the timeout immediately here to say, hey, look, we were in the dark in too many places on the map right there. If we lose Cave, we need to take some info back elsewhere.
Yeah, that really worked in Big Clan's favor, didn't it?
And I guess to discuss the buy as well, because Perfecto can purchase. He has enough if he wanted to drop an ult for Simple, but that means he wouldn't be able to buy armor or anything else. And he is yet to buy here. He could get into an M4, Simple could drop an M4, and everybody could be looking pretty tidy over here for NaVi.
Just about get it sorted out before they have to leave spawn.
Spending every penny here, really.
All right, full investment. Wow, very quick from Simple. He's wanting to challenge around the edge of the smoke. And Big Clan are happy to let him have it. I say that, Sis, and oof, meets his maker. Simple, aggressive, and denies the big clan AWP on the T, well, first attempt on the T side.
Yeah, they made an immediate adjustment. They played 3 through middle. They did the run boost. They were hyper aggressive. They took this ledge and B lane control, applied the pressure, and now big. How well can you work this default when you're down a man short? You have the utility advantage, but the number advantage now lies with NaVi. They can relinquish the mid control. They don't need to be as information driven right now. They can play the number game. Simple playing the timing on that spam.
It's a nice red room smoke as well. You can see how deep it is. It would enable players to walk on through either side. No smoke on cave. Boomich doesn't have one, so he's just got a head-to-head duel here, and tabseN is sharp. Boomich is good for the first, nearly 2. Just war of attrition on the body shots. Perfecto, though. In the cave, Grimbo for sleeping. It's just the 1, and he has nothing to boast. 16 points of health for Faven, and the 11th looms.
Maybe save the AWP, but then a map like Ancient that is so util heavy early, how does cSGO get into the round? If it was Dust too, or something along those lines, I could make a good argument of how cSGO could use and apply that AWP early to find picks. I feel the only option, if he does get to retain the big green, which is looking very likely now, is 15 seconds on the clock, and the last 3 NaVi members are too far to hunt him on down. Or maybe not, hold up a second. If Electronic starts running now, he's going to have an extra 5 seconds. Never mind. It's all good. It's all good. I feel like he is going to have to wield this over towards A, right? Give it over towards cSGO, allow cSGO to use it over towards A early. They can actually still buy. What am I talking about here? A couple of AKs carried on through. tabseN, Tizzy, and cSGO. They can all get some investments going on over. Crimbo might be the only individual light on, but he gets a drop, so no dramas in that department right here, and it is a full buy.
Yeah, facilitated by the save, fortunately enough. So it was an important one, albeit not hunted.
That's the thing, though. I guess I was a bit more focused on how do you want to wield the T-side AWP, because you don't get as many options, especially when the mid corridor is completely barraged with utility here, right? It is hard to facilitate yourself a bit of a gap here.
Weird. I think it must have been a failed utility there. Haven't seen an incendiary there before. Oh, sprayed. Nade. Good. But they're already up mid. Big clan. Just full steam ahead into bid. Oh, and he sends them back immediately too. Crimbo and Tizian forced to watch as round 20 plays out. Lineup was great. It is brilliant out of Boomich as well through the boards. Faven joins the others to watch as this battle against the odds goes down. A battle of wits for tabseN and Boomich. Let's see if he can do it again. He won the duel in the head-to-head last time.
And cSGO, with this AWP, hasn't found himself in a fight, has not been able to find any territory to lock on down. I don't think he's even fired a bullet. You see what I mean? Like, you have the AWP, sure, but what are you doing with it?
Oh, nice shot, but bits there to make sure that nothing goes too awry.
It's likely we just spend now the next 50 seconds watching the cSGO POV to hold on to the AWP, right? For him to go and look for anything with the bomb down, he's not going to be able to find it. And that conversation, I'm from the future. I was having it around too early. Because now, Big will not be able to buy into the next. Unless they wanted to force behind it, I suppose. That we'd only have 2,400 to work with here. It wouldn't make any sense, though, because you want to try and activate the AWP. You want to try and give him an option. And as I'm talking about the save, well, now you're talking about the hunt. Electronic now notes his position with his death. They know that cSGO is over towards T-spawn. And wow, look at this. They're sending more bodies after him here. Bit. He hasn't had enough in a round like this. 3 kills already. Wanted to deny for 4. They're just going to let him hold on to this bad boy right here. 3 AK scooped on up. NaVi up to 12, 4-round lead at this juncture of the game. And they're looking pretty tidy.
It's such an incredible feat, isn't it, from Bit to join a roster like NaVi with such pre-established stars, hierarchy, ego. He's got to fit in effortlessly as rookie who will do what he's told, and yet without taking space, without stepping on toes, he regularly finds himself at the top of the tables. I mean, especially on the CT side where they can just kind of, you know, like those old cars used to get in the Christmas crackers, just pull him back and let him go. And he does. They come to Donut and he sends 3 home.
And the thing is, he's only going to get better. Right, this is the beginning of his career.
Yeah, I mean, what a rookie year he had.
But to be fair, Alex, we have 2 players undefeated at majors right now. Bit
and FNX
100% and FNX 100%. So we're gonna one of them is not going to be able to be at 100% come the end of this one.
Oh, what was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about how Imperial and NaVi are not comparable. Well, actually, the two teams with the undefeated Major attendees.
Yes, FNX, yes, Major, I believe is how it goes.
That's it, yeah, right. Well, you want to see what an AWP can do.
I need to see what the AWP can do.
Searson going to demonstrate, Chad. No stress. Here it comes. Searson go kill the strategy. Job B, with bated breath, watches as Searson tries to go head-to-head with Simple, already posted on the angle. The distraction to be caused, and there's the shot baited out with those leather gloves, and they do actually have the sight now.
They're planted.
Oh, the chances, he gets team flash. Faven had them in his sights, and Simple in Searson's scope. If he can hold on to long, they've got a round out of this. This is where the AWP really can come into its own. Oh, he was safe from the flash, and Faven's kept him alive. Can't retrieve, can now. Bit though, ready, beheads. And it's Faven going even, tit for tat. No hope for Tizian and no hope for Big Clan. All things considered, it's just Tabson with a P250 on Boomich. Might be assuming it's clear. There's a slight opportunity here. Fake Electronic tagged up and just through the corner. It's his third. NaVi weather the storm, but threatening it from Big Clan.
Very threatening, and it just felt like they were like, yeah, we're going B, and we're going to take site control. They just waltzed on in, right? Simple was the only one really taking contact and all that. I was saying planting. Boomich there, through the cave position, able to pick them on up and deny the initial attempt. That was a great babysit from Faven there to make this one seem possible. But Electronic, who was having a great showing in the early stages of the first half, just opening up mid-round after round, is continuing to do exactly that. 16 in total for him. Boomich with 15, 18 for Bit, 14 for Simple, and Perfecto with 11 to his name.
Simple actually manufactures a gap if they did want to try through middle, and Tabson might up the ledge. Flashed off, smoked up, Simple still shuts him down. You can see they're starting to really mix it up. Keep it guessing.
Looking great for NaVi here now. Opening kill onto the in-game leader. Removed him. 4 more to find. Round 14 just around the corner. And Boomich continuing to get up to his nonsense over towards Cave. He's definitely been studying how far he can get those spams on through. Searson denied. No way up for a little bit of a look. And you can see just following each other around like lost puppies right now are big. There's 4 remaining. Plenty of time. How do you get into a round like this? You don't have any territory to work with. You don't have any utility to flush out these close angles. You have 3 to deal with over towards B.
Boomich to be cleared here. Oh, perfect. Boomich gets them both. Oh, Faven just about keeps them in it. But that is a problem. A double when it could and should have only been 1. Boomich has taken a pair. Oh, 1 HP. Perfecto just gets out of dodge. But Searson, I don't know if he's announced his presence.
They're locked in, right? Look at this push from Bit. He's already pushed up towards cutout. Yeah, perfectly illustrated there. There's no way forward. I guess the only way back is to save. And this is how you can see that it is really getting a little bit light on here in terms of the playbook. I was impressed with Big early when they were able to do their full default. They were able to get ledge control, apply pressure towards Donut, and then the Blade timeout came on in. And then Simple, in the next round, when it was likely they were going to run that similar default, is playing over towards Donut with the AWP to deny ledge. Tabson was the opening death. So you can see the adjustment for NaVi. It's immediate. I know it didn't happen immediately in terms of the rounds, but they've been accounting for it with different plays ever since. And when Big go back and try and return to that type of play, they can't get away with that same space that made them so threatening. So in the dumps right now is the German side. 2 rounds is all that is required for NaVi here, and I don't know what Big can do. This is where a pace change is required, something outside of what we've been seeing as the norm. Right, a chop and a change, something maybe a bit more execute heavy.
Yeah, they're certainly running out of opportunities now. Big Clan do need to demonstrate that they can solve NaVi. Boomich is getting very naughty. He's pulled an alligator out.
Yeah, could have definitely been dropped in M4. Electronic has enough and so does Simple.
It's deliberate. Everyone else equipped with the AK, and if he just starts pumping 7 shells, looking for the tiniest speck of info. Oh, and Faven does catch a face full of lead. He's got away. 10 HP now for Faven. Shotgun in cave. Imagine rounding that corner now.
Yeah, he's in the same position, but his weapon is just so tidy for the job here. Unless he pivots back in a bad timing.
Just as they look away. If they were to re-peak now, it's Searson's frag every day of the week. It does mean they can stretch their legs elsewhere.
I feel like Boomich might have to re-aggress here just to stay active with this shotgun in hand, and Bit might be on for a couple here.
Yeah, unenviable task of clearing Donut. You know, this is where Bit resides, and his time to kill is sublime. So quick. As a long-range shotgun does finish what it started. 2 targets on the screen. Tizian's already taken down one of them, but Perfecto does swivel into Tamsin. Okay, just the headshots are coming through now. The individuals of NaVi snub Big at the entrance, and yeah, no time or hope.
Yeah, the bomb down on the other side of the doors, and he has an AWP, and again, we probably just watched Sirison hold on to this as 15 is notched on in. Just 1 round here on the T side for Big. NaVi, you can see just how much of a great job they did in that first half to post so many of their own.
Yeah, that was the impressive part. I mean, not only having a good T-haul, but a victorious T-half. Not many teams can boast that.
Big smiles on the faces here as well. You see Boomich there, a bit of a grin, and this one is going from strength to NaVi now. And this is going to put them into that 2-0 column. Last timeout called here for Gob to chip on in and see if he can change the dialogue right now, because it's looking extremely bleak. They combine with Galils, maybe some MAC-10s and Tech-9s. Tizian could buy an AK, but that's about it. This saves Sirius and AWP with Kevlar. Can't have any util. They're out of options. They're out of ideas. And they're almost out of rounds. But joining the likes of Copenhagen Flames, who picked up a victory over Ence on Ancient just before this match kicked off on your A stream. And prior to that, Spirit with a huge upset victory, their second of the day. They toppled Furia in their opening game and then managed to take down Heroic on the same map, back-to-back Nuke, showing a bit of diversity in the map pool. During the Challenger stage, it was a lot about the Dust too for Spirit. Now, Nuke's the conversation, and Patsy, a bit of a name.
I mean, what a party for Patsy. First major, MVP performances in the top 16, and we're off to the races. Searson trying to find impact, and Simple to deny, but this time at least one. They may assume Perfecto is elsewhere. The criminally underchecked plateau box. And they're already setting up boosts. Backs are turned. Perfecto could end Ancient here, right now, and never mind. Tizian unwilling to take it in the body shots. He wants Perfecto to put his head in the vice. Okay, still pulls the trigger as his screen goes white. Another just shy.
Should be around here, surely.
Yeah, I don't see a way in. I think Faven has actually beaten Bit this time.
Both of them are here. That's the positive right now for NaVi.
Big can't fumble. They cannot afford to rest on their laurels. This has to be an open and shut. Hey, sprayed down. The first of a 2v5. It can't be more than this. Don't get flustered. Last of the flashes, trying to make a play off of it. Boomich has got boost clear. Electronic to be threatening as well with an incendiary on the default side. Jumps across. Okay,
no.
They're doing it. Electronic and Boomich, with their powers combined, are looking to end it here in round 24. Big Clan, our backs are turned. It was nearly the multi-spray down. All hope is lost. Big Clan hot under the collar, and Crimbo has to come up clutch. They don't give him anything. Smoke to deny Electronic. Only has to worry about CT, but the damage is done. The threat is real. And flustered, the finish comes through. 16-8. 2 versus 5 to finish. Just reminding us exactly of who they are and what they're capable of. Some unlikely candidates in it. But NaVi, everything you would have expected of them. The first day of play, and already 2-0. They are set. The red carpet is rolled out for NaVi to secure top 8 swiftly. Yeah,
there's been a conversation about NaVi and what form they're going to come in, considering the whole situation around the team at the moment. They've had a rockier start to the year here, but that's looking very good for them to kick this off. And I think the way that final round played on out right there kind of summarizes how the T-half went for Big. They couldn't get anything going. NaVi just too good, and a very commanding victory here. And now they go into a pool of teams tomorrow. Well, there's still one more to find, where I think NaVi are going to be favored here to pick up that top 8 placing as quick as you like.
Yeah, no, and you mentioned that we do have one more of these best of ones for our day of Counter-Strike. What a day it has been. Some certain eyebrow-raising upsets. This one perhaps doesn't fit in that category, as Big Clan were certainly had the odds stacked against them. The bookies too. NaVi, hot favorites, picking it up in a convincing fashion. I think when you see those 8T rounds and then Big just completely completely locked out. It was really cool that you outlined how quickly the solve came through. You know, like for a moment it looked like Big actually were dictating to NaVi, and then Blade has 30 seconds and it disappears.
Yeah, it's a luxury that NaVi seem to have. We lose one round, we take a timeout, Blade solves the problem, and we continue to win rounds from there on out. So what an absolute shutout and beautiful stuff. Everybody from NaVi doing exactly what they had to.
Yeah, and talking of beautiful stuff, I've got a beautiful analyst desk and host waiting in the wings.
I love all the compliments today. Indeed, 231 days since they had lost Ancient, and they weren't going to change that today. Unfortunately, for Big, they could not best NaVi. And in terms of NaVi and coming into the Major, and perhaps some of the question marks that people would have, 2-0, excellent start. Not a lot to remark.
No, really, right? I think we can calm our nerves a little bit when it comes to NaVi. As you said, there were a couple of question marks coming into the tournament. What kind of play were NaVi going to be able to deliver? How good are NaVi right now? Are they en route to become the best team in the world again, or have FaZe capitalized them? I think what I've seen so far from NaVi have been very solid. This game in particular, dare I say it was a little bit boring in a sense. You know, it felt like they were just cruising through a victory. Big couldn't get anything going at all, and at no point did I feel this game was competitive.
But I also think that's a little bit of a style thing as well. I think it's really, really difficult to play a methodical kind of style against NaVi. They always, you know, if they have time to think of a solution, they'll find it. And you know, they always have, even the 2v5 at the end, they shouldn't be able to find solution in that scenario, but they still been able to do it. And, you know, the individuals were just so strong.
Yeah, it sounds like it's hard to go either way, because we were talking also before, you were saying how Gabi is like this guy who really has the set plans. He really likes to drill it into people. But I feel like when you run into a NaVi CT site like that, you think, okay, maybe I favor the people who go in all guns blazing, but you're probably not going to win those duels either. So it's a rough one to crack, right? So where do we land on Big's performance now? They are 1-1 for the stage. And, you know, what can we take away from this match against NaVi?
I think, I mean, it's NaVi, and
Sure.
I think it's a stylistic thing that they're going to struggle against NaVi. So I wouldn't be too worried if I was a Big fan. I still think they have some chances to pull through in this stage. So you know, keep grinding, keep doing what they're doing, and I think they're gonna have an easier time against some other teams with their style of play.
Listen, it's a reality check for Big.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to beat NaVi. They're not supposed to come in here and best NaVi. That doesn't mean they can't still make it for the playoff. That doesn't mean they can't still beat some of the other teams that they are supposed to compete against. So I wouldn't be too worried if I'm a Big fan. And for NaVi, as said, well done.
Well done indeed. And I think when we talk about question marks, perhaps those were also around the head of Bit just a little bit, right? In terms of what is he going to show and how is he going to help and propel NaVi forward. And what a fantastic first day. And I think specifically in this game.
Yeah, he started out like fire. In the pistol round, you could see Bit come in. You actually get to see it right here with the Glock. One of the difference makers on the server for NaVi. He's had a wild career, you know. He's pretty much won everything already, and he's only been a professional player for a year, so that in itself is pretty impressive. But it is a guy that is still growing, right? He still needs a little bit more experience, find consistency. He's had a bit of a rough period coming into this tournament, but by what we've seen so far, it seems like Bit is in a good playing mood right now, and if that is the case, then that's an NaVi I can back to potentially win the Major one more time.
And I also want to highlight Electronic, because he also opened up the map on the T side a lot of times through that middle and just one-tapping people in Donut constantly. And I think, you know, them two on the T side, they really opened it up so they could have that strong lead, but CD side was too much for Big.
Yeah, we say often that NaVi are like stage beasts, and this isn't even like the biggest stage they can be on in this Major, but is Bit usually someone who under the spotlights thrives?
Yeah, I'd say so. He's just a headshot machine, to be completely honest. You see it right here as well. 78% headshot, almost 79 if we round it up. It's very impressive. Another point I want to bring forward, though, we just witnessed, a NaVi game winning 16-8, and there's one name we haven't mentioned at all. Simple, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't even needed. He wasn't like, he was in the server, sure, and he did a decent job, but at no point did we feel that it was simple game. You know, at no point did we feel like he was making the difference. He wasn't even needed, and yet the game wasn't even remotely competitive. That to me is a scary project.
Yeah, but that's kind of what Simple brings to the table. He can have these like slow games, 14-10 in scoreline, and then all of a sudden, when it comes to crunch time, he always delivers, and it never came to that point, right?
Yeah, it wasn't necessary in this one, NaVi, with a perfect first day here at the Major. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, it is the last game of the day, and it is a banger. Cloud9 versus NiP. See you in a bit.
Now that's what we call Major. 14 days of high-octane action. 14 days of fierce battles. 14 days of special bonuses from GG Bet. Whoop, cheer, and make your fortune.
The past major champions in NaVi are up 2-0. Now I've got Blade with me here. Now, I know you were practicing before, you had a boot camp when it came to the big facility you guys were able to do. How did your boot camp and preparation go before the major?
The preparation was good, not the perfect one, but good enough.
Now, you always say this, right? Not the perfect one. You always want more. Even when you won the major, you told me, oh, we still had things to work on. So how would you describe NaVi's form now compared to last major? Where do you feel you're at?
10% less than last major. But we are the team that is getting confidence, getting in shape, more in shape during the event with each game, so match by match. And I think this 10% is not so significant because we have a lot of experience, and all teams who were playing on this event, we already won them like before in different events. So I think we are now more experienced than last major.
Now, you took down G2, went into the overtime game, but it was a nice game either way. Big, a lot more convincing in this one. You got one more game to make the 3-0 side of things. Who do you think is maybe the biggest opponent that can challenge you right now? Would it be FaZe because they're number one, or is there other teams?
FaZe, of course, because of their firepower, but we see that sometimes they made them like bad steps. So they lost to BIG 2-0. I think you can't lose 2-0 in that fashion if you're like the best team in the world right now, right? They lost now to Ence. It's best of one still. So they have their flaws, right? So, but still, they are really dangerous. But all other teams are also like cloud9, for example. And for example, G2, they played good. Yeah, played good.
All right, well, let's see how them teams go. Let's see if you get that 3-0. Blade, thank you very much.
Awesome work, Banks. Awesome to hear from Blade. He's like so, how do you say it? He's like politically, like he's, I don't know, he's being a little mean or a little harsh about the team, like about FaZe, but he's saying it in such a correct way that you can't fault him for it, and he builds it up, right? But what word am I looking for?
He's never satisfied. He's never satisfied. He's just always looking for more, you know? I've never heard anything like it. You win a major for the first time ever, and you get attacked by a fly over here.
What's going on in
I don't
the
know, man.
segments?
You win a major, and the first thing Blade is saying is like, yeah, we could have played better. We shouldn't have given them that many rounds. I feel like that's a winning mentality in a way, but also kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy, but I do like that he said 10% off, and I'm like, well, you won it with some percent to spare, so that's really impressive. So excited to see what NaVi is going to do next, but we are going to focus in on our last game of the day. It's getting a little silly. It's been a long day, but we're going to get right back on track right now because we have Cloud9 up versus NiP. Two of the most successful teams so far in terms of the way they won their games, I feel. Cloud9 over Outsiders, and NiP, of course, over Vitality. If Devilwalk is not being attacked by the fly anymore, I'd love to get your thoughts.
I think it's an interesting game. You know, I played against when they were Gambit a lot before. They used to be one of my like our biggest practice partners. So I know their stylistic play. I know how methodical they are, how well drilled they usually are in the game, and they're extremely difficult to find solutions against. Something I do worry a little bit about is NiP, and they usually like to do those flanks with their riflers. And I think that cloud9 are one of the best teams in the world to punish flanks.
I'm just so happy to see cloud9 back. I'm so happy to see this iconic jersey, iconic logo being back at a major. They won one before, right? They wear the sleeves with 1 star on it, and this team you're about to witness right now, they may not be the favorites to win the entire major, but they're definitely a contender. It's definitely a team that has the ability to be up there. We've seen it before, and I kind of has them as a bit of a dark horse.
Yeah, oh, absolutely right. Winning their opening game, of course, good to see Groove there behind them now, also full time. I hear all the time how annoying it is to play them. You just lay it out, of course, you can't flank them either. What is it that constitutes them being so annoying to play against and then also so successful?
Yeah, I actually want to bring up the point. You know, we're going to come full circle right now. S-Attack with the AWP and playing as an AWP player against cloud9. It's the protocols. We heard Katie say it many times as well from the online era. You're never going to be able to be in a position, hold an angle without being affected by a smoke, without being affected by a flash, or without someone jiggle peeking you. They're so consequent and so good in taking map control. They're so methodical in it, and they never fail, right? They never miss throw a smoke. They never miss throw a jiggle peek. They never not make it hard for the AWP player. And I feel like S-Attack, as well as he played in that first game against Vitality, which we gotta give him a lot of credit for, there was a lot of those kills that came on a very easy basis. Those easy kills he's not gonna get against cloud9, and to me that could be the difference maker right here. Yeah,
and it's also NaVi. He's an incredible playmaker, an in-game leader. He usually always, you know, gets into these smoke positions, like kind of lurks his way into these timings and coordinates his team. They have a little bit of a different approach. I remember like Dust 2, they used to do these like smokes on the edge and a vanguard smoke, as I call it, on the box. And they kind of like poke out during an execute while they're trying to shift their rotation into Shiro's op so that they can punish people who are overzealous in their rotations.
Okay, very interesting. We're going to be looking out for that. As said, it's going to be a difficult one for NiP, but we need to give them their props in terms of what they have shown. And I like that you say, okay, hey, they did great in their first game, and it was versus Vitality, but now you have to do it a couple of times for S-Attack, right? When it comes to that op matchup we just saw versus Shiro, how do they stylistically match up as oppers? S-Attack, who's really finding his spot in that role now?
Yeah, we don't really know that much about S-Attack yet. He hasn't played with the op for a long, long time, so he hasn't really defined his own, I guess, stylistic way of playing it, but he is a little bit more proactive. He likes to move around. We saw that on Overpass as well against Vitality. He's not afraid of going for a duel. He's not afraid of going for an open pick where he exposed himself, so he's well aware that if he missed the shot, he will be punished for it. Whereas for Shiro, the complete opposite in that regard. You described it pretty well right here. He's probably one of the more defensive AWP players out there, and he's a guy that would at all times hold an angle and just wait for you to come into his crosshair, and that's where he strikes.
Yeah, I think they're just a wonderful team to watch, honestly. They play such a mature Counter-Strike for such a young team. And I think that, you know, it's also very two different styles, NiP versus cloud9. You know, I think they have so many star rifles on NiP, so it's going to be super interesting.
Yeah, also the battle of the IGLs. NaVi did say in an interview after RMR that he feels that he's doing well, but he's still learning a lot. He says compared to like the best IGLs in the world and the most experienced ones, he's got something to learn. Up versus Hampus in this one on Inferno.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. Hampus on Inferno. He is going to be the key to victory right here for NiP. As an in-game leader, Devil Walk, you can probably attest to this as well. He is one of the best out there in terms of how he sets himself up, in terms of how he's the center of everything that's going on within NiP. And he does it with quality, right? He's able to find the openings. He's able to create space for his teammates. It's not like an in-game leader that runs in and sacrifices. He's more like an in-game leader that runs in and creates the space, and then also sometimes are involved in those clutch scenarios. He's one of the most well-rounded in-game leaders we have in Counter-Strike right now, and especially on a map like Inferno, he's always involved in the beginning of the round. So watch out for Hampus. He's a gem for this lineup.
Yeah, I remember I've played in a team for a short while with him, and back even when Cobble, you remember how hard it was to find timings to push a CT through middle on Cobble? He used to find it perfectly every single time. So he has nailed those timings. He's studied the game. He knows, he has that flow state feeling-based decision making, so to speak.
Yeah, you're gonna need that, of course, versus a team like Cloud9. He's got a lot on his plate, I guess, also, right? With everything has been going on around NiP. I don't even want to drop the name anymore because we should only talk about the people that are actually playing now. But the Brawl and integration. Rez, who sometimes is a little bit hot and cold. S-Attack trying to find a spot. It's not an easy task for him, and he's leading them very, very well. Now it's the question, till how far, right? I think a lot of people, they overshot a lot of people's expectations with how good they were playing straight off when this roster was formed, even without the Vice there. How is our feeling now, and could they be in a position to beat players? Cloud9.
Yeah,
Never gonna
they could. I'm curious, right? This is one of those games that sets the expectations for me. I'm curious to see if they have what it takes in order to go up against a very structured team. I'm curious to see if S-Tech can find anything with the AWP on Inferno. It's a tough map. It's a very close map. So I'm curious to see, right? There's one weak link within Cloud9. That's NaVi. He's by far the lowest rated player. So maybe we're going to see NiP test him in the beginning of the game, and that could be a key to victory.
I think so too, but basically I'm just looking forward to heading into the game and see how it actually develops, because yeah, I'm super excited about this one.
Yeah, we're excited, and when an analyst is excited for a game, that means we should be as well. One last time for today, over to Machine and Sponge.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I think we probably are echoing that excitement. Chad joining me, and perhaps people still, bookmakers included, not giving NiP the credit they deserve. Cloud9, understandably a favorite. I wouldn't dispute that either, but I'm seeing the odds, I'm seeing the conversation on the desk. It does seem that even though a 16-4 thrashing against Vitality wasn't enough to turn heads, people are happy just to sweep that away and say, yeah, okay, do it again.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the things, right? Obviously, NiP has been chopping and changing roster quite consistently over the last year or so. But we seem to, from event to event, sleep on NiP, and normally I'm the one sleeping on Cloud9. So it is strange that NiP aren't getting much shine, but let's see if they can change that tune. I guess it's on the CT side here as Rez jumps across, the P2K in hand. The repick off the flash comes on through, and there's four in front of them here, but they can't land the kills.
It's fine. With the flashes and an even exchange, we find ourselves in a 4v4. And Rez going to change that even more! What was that? Enters! The flick! And it just spirals. Jeez, I don't even think I saw him turn around. It looked like he bent the bullet. That was Rez's frag all day long, but nope. Chuck Tester.
Wow. Okay, well, yeah, that kind of steals the show in the pistol round right there, doesn't it? And, well, the round goes in favor of Cloud9 here as well. A bit pacier out of Cloud9. That's what I like to see. And S-Attack trying to hold on to all these goodies. Might have to use a couple just to stay alive. There's $300 gone.
1 HP. He's a dead man.
Yeah, definitely so. He has $900. Oh.
He doesn't want them to have it, at least.
Yeah, I was going to say $900 of a booty left on over right there, but not to be the case. And Groove, the coach behind, just giving the eyebrows. I think quite surprised with how that one went on down too. So snatching away a lot right there, denying NiP carrying anything through to the next round of play. I just want to bring up the point that Jacob was talking about there regarding S-Attack. Now, we know that S-Attack had a fantastic performance on debut at the Major. This is the first time S-Attack, as crazy as it sounds, has been at a Major.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I know, right? Let that one sink on
This is his first Major?
Yeah. And his performance over there with the AWP on Overpass was great, but this is not an AWPer's paradise by any means. Right, Inferno is a lot more difficult to wield the AWP to the same success.
Yeah, it depends on the AWPer.
The thing is as well that I think is a positive is that he doesn't necessarily need to use the AWP on a map like Inferno for them to have a strong CT side. Now they have forSe in, bunch of smokes left on over. They're still holding on to all 5 here with a minute and 20 left on the clock, and Hampus wants to block long. Yeah, this is good.
Like that just going to force them to either wait it out or find a new path. And after he's going to punish. Oh, well tracked. Hampus not going to give up the ghost just yet. What a shot. Oh, 2 out of the 5-7 of Rez. They are making a round out of this force buy. Hampus starts it. Rez has made it very competitive. Hampus lives on, has the Mac 10 to be tested. Locked on Moto. Smoke should cover his tracks, but does go down all the same. Shiro has yet to get the bomb down. It is on his back as it stands. Inters to provide the overwatch and support. You can see Plopsky's actually going to try and nullify the threat. There will be angles over the top of that smoke if he wants to find it. And Brolin's still the unknown entity. He's actually crawling quad side.
Sure has another smoke here to drop as well, and as the time ticks on down, they will have to plant, but as soon as they punch in the digits, they remove a player and it becomes a 1-on-2 for Inters from pit here to bodyguard.
20 seconds, paranoia spreads. You still have that smoke, Shiro. And his pit adjusts immediately. There's a second leaping with a bit of a Hail Mary, hoping to catch a something in the air. Cloud9 deal with it.
And speaking of a something, there's a bit of a different glimmer in the eyes of Cloud9 in these first 2 rounds.
How so?
Well, we've been seeing them enter the site here with more than a minute on the clock, right?
Sure.
No, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way.
No.
I mean that in actually quite a positive way, because the individuals on this team are highly skilled, right? Highly skilled. Axel, Shiro, Hobbit, right? One of the things with this team is they do it by the book, but individually they're sound. And if they understand that, that the players in the server that they're going toe-to-toe with, they can just bat aside if they want to take these fights like this. Take a bit more action early, it adds another layer to Cloud9. It adds a whole nother layer to this team that needs to be feared. And the pace early, the fights early, the clear understanding of where they want to go with these duels and what areas of the map they want to take. They're already walking in towards B. They've lost Hobbit and potentially an AK, right now being covered on off by Inter's position here. And he's going to take down Plopsky. I think Shiro wants to get himself the upgrade, and he will do exactly that. Brolin seeing if he can be pesky and annoy Inters here, and that's about all he's doing. Will need the backup of his team. Rez has come on over as well, and now Inters is going to hightail, and he's just wasting more time for his teammates to get in towards B and get that bomb on down. Unlikely to see them give away this round now that the digits are punched on in.
So it's 1 AK. Was there anything else? Okay, Mac 10.
Yeah, and realistically speaking, the best you might want to do with this if you're Brolin is look for damage. Right? You don't really want to use that in the first gun round of play, but a couple of kills denying a couple of AK-47s carried on through with a $600 kill reward. That sounds a whole lot juicier.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see that they are looking to maybe close in on banana exits, and Rez was towards Arch if he wanted to kind of rule out CT. But actually, Shiro is going to throw a nade down and maybe even throw himself out of the round. Oh, wow. Crosshair, even though he was flashed, he takes them both down. Just the rifle on Tag. Maintains that. Shiro gets out. Safe and sound. 6-0 for him. 5 already in the feed from Inters. So individuals up and 3-0 start. Cloud9, T-side, Dreamy.
Yeah, as all the best ones have been going on today, we have both screens up in the green room, and as I'm watching the games, so I've taken cliff notes on a couple of the highlights. And in the Cloud9 versus Outsiders game, a 16-12 victory for Cloud9 on Mirage. Shiro had a lot of impact on the lower buy or eco rounds. On the T side, 4 kills with the P250 on an eco. On the CT side, he went for a hero M4 and found 4 frags with that M4 to secure a round with the rest of his teammates with full eco. Right now, he wasn't even the highest fragger in the server. I think Axel and Inters were finding more traction, but here's some pace again, flashing forward.
Perfect, and yeah, Tag's first AWP round. He had 21 of his 23 frags in a dominant first half on the defense with his AWP. This is Inferno. This is a different kettle of fish, and he's been run down. Nice try from Hampus. Caged immediately, and so are NiP. Cloud9 looking very swift in this T side. This was, look at the time before that bomb went down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think as I saw kills come in, there was a lot of utility on the belt buckle of these NiP players, because you're expecting to try and hold on to your smokes until the last 30 to 45 seconds to slow Cloud9 down. The fact that they're conditioning you this early with this type of play means that NiP are going to have to use that utility early. And this is now where Cloud9 can go back to their bread and butter and play their standard, more slow, methodical style of Counter-Strike if they like. Because right now they're bullying NiP early here. 4-0 lead, 1 rifle saved, but that's about it.
Yeah, they haven't really got to play the game, you know. This is the first weapon round, and already they were just hitting panic buttons and getting run down. Rez with 1, Hampus another, but yeah, just frags are low for the Ninjas as it stands. Brolin yet to put his name in the feed in a positive light, and that, talking of positive light, that is impressive. I was looking, it looked like it was like a 9-1 or something. It was very dominant from G2 initially, but seems starting that second half strong, and the 10-5 now goes 10-7.
Yeah, not a bad little bit of play right there.
Not
from
a bad
Imperial
all.
keeping it close against a team like G2. So good stuff from the Brazilian side. back in with a half purchase around. Just saved AK-47. The shot of Hampus whistles by, but does not get a second chance. Shiro's AWP is out.
That was a little too much. Hampus, a double repeat on that scout. The first I'll allow, the second Shiro will be quick to punish. And Chad, we do have to take note of the speed by which this round is going down already. They've got full top banana control. You've already dinged Plopsky down to 6.
You know what's quite funny here is Shiro, he is wielding Esatag's AWP, which has a Cloud9 sticker on it from the days that Esatag was there. So we've come full circle.
Yep, appropriate.
As we come on over for a bit of a gamble B stack right here from the Swedes.
Smoke.
Ow, that's the thing as well, right? Calling out the smoke when you go for a gamble stack, you have a choice. Do we want to let them come on in and use our numbers here, or do we want to smoke and block them to deny? Well, they did both. I think either way, this round is going to fall away from them here. Hobbit's forward position up in Boiler as well. He can hear if there's any steps over towards the short side, or if there's any noise as far as rotations go. He might call the team back over late here. They're starting to posture and set on up. If they continue forward with the bomb, could be a few problems here for Cloud9. Another smoke to deny at the 30-second mark. They can still drop on back. If Hobbit wants to have a look now, there's still time.
Yeah, they are. And the round loses its potency now.
Yeah, okay. Well, hold on to these goodies. It's mainly the armor, right, that you want to hold on to if you're NiP to just get the buy into the next a little bit better around the edges with the util and all the goodies. 9, 8, 7, and the digits are getting punched on in. Bomb goes down. And now 40 seconds remain as we see Cloud9 go up to a 5-0 lead on the T side of Inferno. Now, one of the biggest critiques of Cloud9, I would say, is that there's no question mark in the way that they approach the game. It's by the book, right? It's good Counter-Strike to watch, right? If you're a coach or an in-game leader or someone who just likes fine, you know, ABC Counter-Strike, you definitely like the way that Cloud9 approach the game. But one of the question marks is they lack players to throw haymakers, right? It would always be Hobbit that would bail them out of a situation. You know that Shiro's good in a clutch, but they're the clutches where, you know, his team have done a lot of work and he's in a 1-on-2 and he's in a really good position to close them on out, right? But they have really strong individuals. And if they start acting like really strong individuals, and then on, let's say, they make it to the big stage and Shiro does a massive clutch or Axel does a massive move, this is where these names who, for whatever reason, haven't caught on as fan favorites will become exactly that. Because they've got some personality about them here in the server. Nafany has it outside. The rest of them do it in the server. And this should be a team that people want to see do well because they've done the hard graft. Yeah. They came in a team that wasn't a partner team and became one of the best squads in the world through hard work and determination.
Yeah, and it only, you know, needs its climax. They haven't even reached the peak of their story yet. Joining Cloud9, representing already a major champion organization.
That's a fun story that people at home are having a bit of a joke with. FaZe would make it to the final and then end up losing to Cloud9.
Imagine the 15-11 up.
Yeah, if that does happen, those of you out there, I think you've willed this into existence with your jokes, but that would be quite the story. And now back to regular programming here. A little bit of an aggressive maneuver top banana from Shiro to apply the pressure and try and milk through this NiP utility, but the default spread now working on this top mid control. Center to hold them at bay, but they will pop and go and apply pressure.
Yes, attack, another test on the orb. Great find from Hampus, just reading Nafany's hug on the brackets. Reloads in the open, that could be a sign for Hobbit to nutmeg just upon the fade. Dunks Hampus back to the grave. Long is his. Util towards the A site. Archer's smoked. A CT smoke will stop Hobbit from getting too much early.
Helps him out here a lot.
Yeah, he can actually crawl and take space. Confirms library clear. Flash does nothing. They're closing in. Rez, something from the pit. Needs another. Worming through. Actually, yes, attack good onto that Hobbit. Long side find. It's Inter's dinked. Can't find the shot either from Shiro. It's not really light on time. 5, 4.
Oh, no time.
That is the worst. He might go down after time. There's 2 of them chasing. And they'll let him have it.
Yeah.
He has 9K to be fair. Really not going to make too much of an impact. But there you go. I mean, there's the first round for NiP, and it's off of a Hampus opener.
Yeah, that right there was really good from Rez over towards Pit, just getting that kill and buying as much time as he could. And Esatag even found one in a difficult position. They were coming up short and wrapping that long side right there. So well done on the A defense from NiP. Fun to note, they got Brolin and Plopsky over towards B, former teammates once upon a time. Knocking down that B bomb site together here as we do get back underway into round number 7.
Yeah, when you look at the NiP roster now, it is just all of the young Swedes that have been on the hard graft under one roof now. And a Dane.
Oh, this is interesting. They've already got 2 into boiler control here, so this might actually be a little bit more direct. The boost up and over.
Turns it. Plucks Hobbit on the leap out. Big shutdown from the Ninjas. Nothing left but corpses. 2 posted up on short. Shiro and Axel trying to take space back away. Another miss. This time Shiro just tries to hit the quick flick.
Very difficult round to get back into here.
The bomb is step 1. And that's been done without any bloodshed.
Well, it should be done. Axel, you didn't.
Wait.
You didn't pick it up there, mate. Axel, you didn't get the bomb.
No. Okay. He's going to realize soon.
Or are they saving? Maybe they're saving.
But
Shiro's position already over towards the door.
Sure.
I know what you're saying. Maybe if they had the bomb, they might reconsider. But the fact that he left the bomb.
No, I know, but I'm just thinking like it's almost them not having the bomb and seeing the bomb still in boiler almost makes it more clear
that it's a save. Yeah.
If the bomb disappears, everyone's like, okay,
where are they going?
I'm going to get info.
Well, it's the perfect play from NiP after the opening exchange. Just going to turtle on up. You can see the X's there on the radar, top left-hand side of your screen, next to the blinking bomb. All the corpses littered in the exact same spot. So you could see there was a bit more of a direct approach, but NiP have adjusted now. They were ready for more of a heads-up maneuver. They were locking down top mid, and they were doing it through elevation.
Yeah, the boost is powerful, and I guess that's the perfect call when it seems like, you know, Cloud9, as you've identified, were playing not their own game, or not what you would expect out of the gates in the pace department. So they've adjusted, and that might put Cloud9 now into that more default approach. We might get a proper standard round of Counter-Strike here, round 8.
Well, 2 saves back-to-back from Shiro is definitely sending us in that direction here. Now, this is a timeout taken. Groove, an opportunity for him to get on the mic, and a couple of notes right there. They look like dot points.
I shouldn't be trying to read their notes. It's just funny. I saw CT, and there was 1 line of text, and then T, there's a whole barrage of different tips.
CT probably says M4A1S, and T is like 733 strategies to deal with the M4A1S. So,
yeah, well, I guess he's probably exhausted all of his CT strats. Go kill. They get 2 rounds. And they find them back to back. So as you've been discussing, it is going to be starting to attack the funds.
I'm curious what the change-up is here, right? Because Groove has taken the time out here to have a conversation. Brolin is yet to get a kill, so maybe they want to give the B-bomb site a little bit of love. See if they can find a weakness over there. We've seen Shiro attempt to go aggressive with a bit of a AWP aggressive maneuver up the choke point. This is a smoke thrown out early from Nafany over towards B, and he's doing that with intent. So they will deny the top of Banana with utility of their own. See Brolin playing behind that with a swift little jump just to see if anybody wants to slink on forward and is worried about this. They will set up a boost and use the smoke against them here. The nade coming on through. It's going to do a tickle of damage onto Plopsky. Brolin, he has the information, so that smoke doesn't account for a lot until the flash comes on through. So back and forth the util game goes. The info falling in favor of Cloud9 as they thrust themselves forward. They get Banana control quite concisely here. And the rotation coming on in from Hampus to at least donate some utility to this already pressured B site.
They're coming. Nafany and Axel asking questions of B. However, they can't do anything in terms of close until we do see util arrive. Shiro is there behind them. Inters has the alternative, as does Hobbit. So you can see for now their responsibilities were just to cage any CT aggression of apps. Inters now has given up the ghost on that.
This is one of the biggest issues right now if you're a CT side on a map like Inferno. Absolutely no control across the map. No information Banana, no information top mid.
Oh, there's some information for you. An immediate smoke drop. But they wanted that. They're just going to go off it. A flash. A nice find from Plopsky. And in the smoke lies Brolin. Takes his first frag. Scouts Axile. And they are out.
Might be another save here. 20 seconds left. No way forward. The way back. I don't think there's enough time. And 3 consecutive rounds. 3 consecutive saves.
Yeah, at least they get to have another go. 3. The majority of your forces will be well equipped.
And this is the positive side of that game, because with 3 rounds lost, the loss bonus is built to a point where Axile and NaVi can buy AKs again with utility. Shiro still has enough to get a couple of pieces himself, Inters and Hobbit as well. So it's going to be a full buy. And you can see the positives of the save. Now, in terms of the excitement, it may be lacking a little bit there, but Imperial, I cannot believe it, have tied things up 11-11 against G2 on Mirage. The old boys rolling back the years and taking it to G2. Wow.
Yeah, some viewership records going to be broken, I reckon, on the Gaules stream. 11-11, that is a dream come true. Let's see how they go with that. Well, Brolin is actually going to meet Axile immediately face to face. Look at the pep in his step. He just charges forward. Brolin can't believe his luck. He's been given it. Oh, plant pot trick shot there.
Yeah, well, NiP have definitely course corrected. There's another. Inter's dead.
Wow.
That AWP, Jacob was asking how much can Tag get done with it. Well, he's found a couple of kills with it, so not faring too poorly here. But as mentioned, the AWP on the CT side of a map like Inferno, it is so difficult. Do we just get another Cloud9 save here again?
Probably. Makes more sense than the alternative. It's a regroup.
Don't do us like this, boys. Come on now.
It's a regroup. That's what it is. Still lots of time, but it seems like...
Are they luring you into this, Alex?
Like they're progressing up Banana, Shadney, so there is no smokes on this B defense. There's nothing to hold them at bay. Hampus
he's coming.
Crawling. He doesn't want to be heard if they had their ear pressed to Speedway.
Sure is thinking, I could save this again.
Guys, I don't know if we're... Okay,
we really
here we
want
go.
to try this, guys.
Here they come. Counter Molly, one cross to pull. Oh, Hobbit, perfect flash from NiP, and they will have nothing, all taken away from them by the B defenders. Brolin with 3 kills. He started that with the aggression onto Axile, and finally, I believe Cloud9 will have to swallow their pride and take an eco.
Yeah, a half buy possible here. With they've taken the lead. Imagine if they win this game.
I'm bringing it up.
It would be classic G2 fashion, wouldn't it? That would be remarkable. If Imperial win this, this is a massive scout for them to take. Like they won against Liquid Shore. They won against forZe to get here, but beating G2, that would be massive. Anyway, shoe on the other foot on this stream right here. NiP have now been able to bolster a bank with the rounds they have won consecutively here. 4 on the trot, 3 of which have Cloud9 more than happy to concede and save. And now that half buy has come on through. Some Tech9, some digs, P250 in the mix, and some light util. They're waiting out exactly that. Smoke towards the long side, deployed from up close and personal. Rez will be denied, and yeah, he knows he's up against the pistols here, so you can see that immediate backpedal, not wanting to get caught out of position. Hobbit had to extinguish there. He did not have any choice, and NaVi is really prodding. He was asking for that, as Hampus will find the opening pick, and now Cloud9, what started so well for them on Inferno is fallen flat with 5 consecutive rounds for NiP, more than likely, with just 4 more to find.
Yeah, and there's nothing more scary than Rez equipped with an AK-47 on the defense as well. So A is a no-go. Heading over to B again, and the boost is established. So Brolin so far has managed to find all of his frags upon this B site's defense. You can see that they're going for a 2-tiered new box hold, and there won't be many Molotovs to disrupt. In fact, 0 with this light buy. So here they come. Oh, good flash, and a bit of a problem now. Brolin goes down. Plopsky did not find the frags he was supposed to, and it comes tumbling down for the Ninjas. Just pistols, now rifles, fall into enemy hands. Ooh, that's a good incendiary. Axile will have to go wide on that. Oh, he gets it again. Still threatening. It's only 2 of them now. Hampus trying his best, and it's all onto Hobbit versus Hampus. Knows where he is, has time. Can Hampus remedy the problem? He does save them. Oh, boys, you can see his face says it all.
Yeah, he'll bail them out. The in-game leader will come on 3 and scoop that one up. It got a little bit worrisome there, didn't it?
I mean, think of it from Cloud9's perspective. They nearly had something absolutely ridiculous to break their silence. Yeah, timeout just to break it down and to talk about the next gun round, but that is going to be the 5th.
One of the key themes of these 5 consecutive is NiP have found the opening in all 5. right? That doesn't change the tune too much to the previous 5. I think Rez found an opening in the opening 5, but the key in these 5 consecutive have been the opening kill every single time as DGL, the coach, they're firing them on up. I think that one, obviously a little bit sloppy, right? But, you know, there's still plenty of cash, maybe just making sure they stay focused in all the moments here.
Not many people have heard from DJL, but I was convinced by how convinced you were. You said you spoke to him once and you were like, okay, he knows.
Yeah, I think it was with Hampus while Hampus was doing an interview, and I made some off-the-cuff remark to Hampus, and then he had to shoot off and do something. So then DJ and I are standing there and we had a chat, and then as soon as we start talking, it's not like we'd ever introduced to one another. As soon as he starts talking Counter-Strike, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy, just from the words coming out of his mouth, seems very legit.
Yeah, and this looks legit as well. Pace seems to be the answer called upon after the timeout. Cloud9 want to throw bodies to Banana as Roland tested and meets his maker, nafany. 1. Plopsky alone summons Hampus for aid, and they are going for the spoof. Surely it's predicted. Surely it's predicted. Not ready. nafany is alive. He gets away. Saved by Hobbit. Nade down the throat. Plopsky swallows it for 28. Is all he's got left, and they're backing away already. So Cloud9, that is an effective timeout. If they can have a spotless T round off the back of it, dreamy.
Yeah, well, we normally talk about forced buy wars earlier where people like to spend and spend and spend. Right now, we're in the $1 shop, the bargain basement deals right now as it's save, save, save. We got deals all over the Inferno.
And in the UK, we call it Poundland.
Great name.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, neither team offering out too much of a pounding right now. We're quite equal.
Yeah, well, it started with one way, it's gone the other, and just now righting the ship are Cloud9. So they've traded 5 apiece.
With an opening from nafany. So it's 5 consecutive with openings from NiP, and nafany said, I've seen enough of that. That's one of the hyper-aggressive movers this in-game leader has become known for. Cracks open the B bomb site. Able to take down Brolin there, and, well, Hampus could not land that shot. If he did, likely to find themselves in a 4-on-4, but missed the chance, missed the opportunity, and now Cloud9 will strike back.
He's got 3 different Ghibli movies on that anime sleeve as nafany. I saw Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and the Totoro one I haven't seen.
All right, you weeb, we get it.
I just wanted to flex, okay? Those are few of the movies I've actually seen.
I never thought to stay in touch with our audience watching anime was one of the things that we would
principles.
have to do.
Yep.
But apparently it is here as we get back into the gun. Still plenty of cash was left over for NiP with the save. So both teams are being very reserved in the finance department here, which means we're going to have threatening rounds through down the tail end through the straight.
Esatag, you are playing with fire. This is an Aggie line to take. Oh, scary scenes. He's got dinked down to 1 HP. Careful not to crater. Does get a soft dismount. Okay, panic over. He lives on.
Well, if anyone's got good movement, it is Esatag. So graceful like a gazelle.
People give gazelles too much credit, you know. Sometimes they do look quite clumsy. I don't know if you can really task Esatag with holding any part of this ace site. He's just such an unpredictable outcome for him. Plopsky's jumping for info, maybe going to bait for Brolan.
I don't think that's
not going to clear. Okay, gets it. Surely he's cooked. Counter incendiary. Take a fight, catch a bullet. 4-on-4 just about. Don't forget the Esatag status. What a shot. Plopsky from way downtown takes another scalp. It's Axile, and now they're channeled into A with 30 seconds. Rez actually choosing to aggress on this. You have the man advantage, but he's not satisfied, and it leads to his demise. They are going to catapult now into the site. Hampus will hear them through apps. A powerful angle catching them inaccurate on the balcony. He walks back in. Another contribution from Esatag despite the low HP. And Shiro with a 1v2, a very manageable 1v2.
Oh, flubbed his line on the smoke right there.
It's going to have the ninja scratching their head. What does that mean? What does that do? He's going to try and play around it.
Maybe he didn't flub his lines. This could be brilliant right here.
Is it a one-way?
Smoke's a wall behind him right now. Oh,
heard it. Heard it. Esatag. Okay. Just they close. It's Plopsky responsible for it. Just pulling a 6th out of the hat. That was an intense round of Counter-Strike there and an important recovery. But that was just a blip on the radar, really. I mean, we've seen one Cloud9 round. Everything else, a slew of blue.
Good trading here.
Look at that.
Okay. Never mind. I thought that he had just like pipped him through the corner, but actually just a spam kill from Plopsky. That was brilliant right there, and he does finish off the round as well with the final frag.
I am going to check that G2 update. Oh.
Yeah, it's quite the game to keep glued on, isn't it?
14 just about. Cover your ears, I apologize. Oh my goodness, our own round has already kicked off full steam. Damage was done, burn they heard, and now Plopsky still, despite the rumble of information and the dunk from Hampus, they will leave with the lead. And the bomb's on half wall. He's trying to threaten with the molly. Be brave if he wanted to go through that smoke. He's going to spray in, and that costs him his life, likely the round as well. Inters and Shiro on the wrong side of the map without the bomb. What are you gonna? What do you get out of A? You're gonna hope to catch the A lurk. No one's home.
There was an idea that would have made sense. It just meant that Axel had to survive, because knowing that you can fortify the bomb top and on a half wall, it was always going to draw at least one rotation. So if Axel had been able to stay alive in that situation, he threw himself into the smoke there and got taken on down. Would have put him in a pretty good stead to allow his teammates to try and find something to work with here, but you've got another incendiary or two, some flashes available, a smoke now just dispatched. For Cloud9, it's a very rough one right now to get on into a round like this. A nice tidy nade will do a little bit of chip damage. They can throw the Molotov over towards the sandbag position and try and flush out. But again, another smoke deployed, and you have 25 seconds left on the clock. It has to be the save.
Yeah.
And we've said that quite frequently now as NiP have taken the lead in this one. They will be getting themselves up to a 7-6 scoreline. And that this time round was with the opening of nafany, just unable to convert off the back of that. The next two consecutive kills came on over and landed in the pocket of NiP. So good stuff from the Swedes now.
Really nice kill distribution as well. We know Brolin had a slow start, but he definitely has awoken and been a contributor to some of their round wins. But everyone else, a couple of frags between them. So all of the Swedes and the Dane delivering in equal capacity, equal measure. G2 trying to right the ship over on the B stream. Shiro just going to be laying down what he can to set the scene for the last two of play here on their T side.
There will be enough money for Cloud9 to have a full buy round now, as you can see, and a full gun round into the next as well by virtue of the loss bonus. So the economy's actually been quite kind to them in the way that their saves have played on out. They've kept themselves very threatening, and not in the same way as Ence did earlier today with force buys, but by management of their money. Not wanting to fight for any banana control right now, and yeah, tickled on up by the flames right there. S-Attack has to drop back. This will completely change and shift the setup that NiP were working with right there. If he didn't get tickled by the flames, they could have stayed postured forward, but they will have to choose something different now. As flash on over, incendiary forward, one on the way back, and space to be taken here by NiP as they don't do it early, they do it mid-round, which is great against a team like Cloud9, who are a bit more methodical, like to wait out the protocol utility. Well, now, by doing it when the timing was about 1:20, they bought themselves full banana control with a minute on the clock. This is good stuff.
And it's a different variation. You know, it's not with the half-wall smoke, it's actually a deep banana smoke and two incendiaries to essentially say, fight us in the flames or give us banana back.
And they've definitely given on over here. The smoke starts to fade, and now nafany working on some control, but time's starting to become an issue. Rez still with a full bag of utility, Hampus with almost the same, and S-Attack a smoke too. Brolin even has one to deploy over towards B. So if it is a B execute, they have both players in the site. This is exactly what you want, but nafany wants to do this quickly. Look at this forward posturing position.
Yeah, he's going to strike at the same time as Hobbit.
Contact, contact, contact.
Brolin's still looking the wrong way. Plopsky, just on the jiggle, does manage to fall to Brolin,
Oh,
and there's a gap in the one-way. Look at that. Both of them are playing around the smoke. They can't see anything. Brolin has got it done. That is horrendous to walk around the corner into. Two players with gaps under and over the smoke. What do you call that one?
Yeah, some next level nerd stuff right there out of this duo on the B bomb side.
One smoke, two angles, bro.
That is filthy, right? Even if you account for one, there's no way you're accounting for the other as part of that wide swing. Inters gets a freebie onto Hampus right here, but wants to make sure he doesn't go down after time. Even if he had died there before the time had expired, he would have been able to have a gun round. But now, by going down after time, he's going to be left on 2.8. Oh, hold up. Never mind. They dropped it. It's all good. It's all good. And speaking of all good, G2 fans, it's all good. G2 pick up the win over Imperial. They set themselves up in that 1-1 column alongside a crazy list of teams. An actual crazy list of teams. And Imperial, unfortunately, now find themselves in the 0-2 column, battling for survival tomorrow in the best of threes.
Yeah, make sure you set your morning alarms, because I think the best of ones are going to be worth a watch tomorrow. Very much so. Those 1-1 matchups.
NiP will have more than salvaged this half, by the way, Alex. If they walk away with 9-6, Cloud9 won the first 5 rounds of the game. What a comeback this would be from the Swedes. Really well handled, and again, the frag distribution. Look how close it is.
What I find so impressive is not only, Brolin's just tied himself right up with the rest of his squad mates, but everyone's pulling their weight. And even more so, I don't know how NiP have managed to keep Cloud9 so caged while still maintaining so much of their util.
It is wild, right?
Like, they get to hold on to... Look, I mean, look, when are we seeing their nade? They've thrown one, Chad. One smoke deployed. It was a molly, actually. No, they've still got all of those. There's the smoke on top.
And it's sub 1 minute.
And now they're going to try and get flashed, I assume. Oh, they really aren't. Just poking and prodding from every angle. Bronner's not going to be caught out immediately. Still has Arch. And swung through. Nice from NaVi. Catches Hampus. That's an opening kill for Cloud9. 7 would be a nice recovery. Roland is going to meet Hobbit as well, so very nicely played. And you can see NaVi's got the CT rotate locked down. Deals with Plopsky.
B's open. They killed Plopsky and Brolin. Should they take the bomb back to B? Or is there time? 25 seconds. They're just going to kill them all.
Yeah, they're just going to take the biff. And there you have it, an 8-7 half. A little recovery on the final round of play. You can see that run from NiP. So a very competitive game for us here on the mainstream.
Yeah, and you spoke about how stoic they were with their utility. They're late into the game, right? And that's why the conversation early from me was about Cloud9 and the pace in which they were approaching. It was, I think, to condition NiP to make sure that they had to use their nades early. But whether the Storm had some more heads-up, Biffy style of Counter-Strike on the CT side where they took the duels, and then they could go back to the game plan that works against Cloud9, which is limp out that utility slow and steady, making sure that when they do want to take territory, you're greeting them with just as much of your own. Here we go. The odds still quite heavily favoring Cloud9 here, and wow, 8-7. Quite a good half here. Julie's out in the hands of Shiro. He's been dropped them. Kit, HE for Hobbit. 2 flashes for Inters to try and facilitate. And on the T side here from NiP, it's 2-3 spread. 3 over towards second mid. They're flashing the fight coming on through. NaVi can't connect the dots, can't find a fight, but Axel can, and he's being gooshed. Not long for this world. Esatag will find him.
How many people actually connected a bullet onto Axel there? Okay.
This is still huge from NaVi, though. The fact that he's tucked on down quite aggressively, they are noting that there is the potential for this aggression. You can tell just by the way that Hampus is trying to sniff out the T-house. So with this, it's very likely they clear this corner. I think NaVi thinks he has all the room and they don't know, but he should go down. Yeah, exactly that. Now A's open. When you have a player that forward, if they want to get a bit more pep in their step, you would normally, with a player that far ahead of the pack, be, well, saying A's clear. And that's not the case whatsoever. All 5 members from NiP bearing down now.
Yeah, and they're not going to let anything slip away. Something that like I wasn't smart enough to contribute to, a conversation in the green room.
Okay.
Maui says nothing triggers him more than seeing CT save on a CT pistol.
Okay.
But like I've always thought we justified it like, oh, some Kev, get the free upgrade.
Yeah.
Could you understand where Maui would be coming from? Is it cash? Is it you can always afford to take something away from the T's? I mean, I wasn't smart enough. I just kind of smiled and nodded.
Yeah, look, I think, and I don't know if we're ever going to get to see it here. I think Shiro might go on down. But one of the things with saving on the CT pistol, if it is the armor left over, it means that it's going to free you up with a few extra resources into the next round. And something which teams have been doing a little bit more of recently is once they do save the armor, then they'll have a FAMAS, right? You know, if somebody got a kill, they'll make sure there's a FAMAS in play. And that right there can be quite strong because, you know, FAMAS with Kevlar, I know it's not head armor, but it still can be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, and angle dependent. There's lots of spots you can get away with. Hobbit is going to save himself a kit and a nade. And that's an NiP pistol, so pitching. Ooh,
okay, got something. Yeah, well, Shiro will be able to get at that FAMAS now if he would like, and he can actually drop those Julies across. So if they wanted to force, and it looks like they are, it can be quite a tidy force coming on through. And then there it is, the Shiro FAMAS. So I guess we can have that conversation that you were happening in front of our eyes right here. Shiro would only have been able to go for a buy like this if he did save that Kevlar. So they've been able to keep a pair of Julies, they have a FAMAS in play, 2 5.7s to CZ, and a couple of bits and bobs. 4 smokes in total, make it 5.
Plenty of utility, so NiP really can pull the defense around. Does seem rather
Direct?
Yeah, direct.
Yeah.
I was going to say clear intent. NiP just off the break without any information.
Axel needs multiple kills here, or this round's over.
He's got a rather flamboyant setup on the 5-7. He's going to eat a flash. Oh, no, he's not. Still doesn't get anything done, and that FAMAS does nothing. NiP set for a 10th.
We will see another Cloud9 save here. There's no way into a round like this. If you want to linger around and see if you can get maybe a gun like that, then yeah, you can justify it. But otherwise, it's going to be more of the same. Cloud9, we're playing the percentages, holding on to the armor, holding on to the upgraded pistols here, and trying again into the next round of play. NiP already know this, right? There's no threat, there's no shots, there's no sound cues of any regard. So they know that if they wanted, they could start to have a little bit of a look around here and apply some pressure, but Brolin's passive position over towards T-Stairs means that they just might want to hold on to their goodies too. And NiP have come on in here with quite a clear game plan.
I mean, Cloud9 were everyone's favourite, and NiP, in their first game against Vitality, people were very quick to dismiss as A,
Vitality.
Vitality. Yeah, B, Apex's career low major performance in that map alone. And that Lightning wasn't going to strike twice in the form of an S-Tag top frag. But so far, Cloud9 have yet to be able to dig their teeth and dig their claws into the Inferno and start running away with it. 5-0 was great. 2 on the tail end of the half made it an 8-7 half. But NiP, this is going to be their next big test. Quick tech pause. It looks like we're going to have to just quickly get a couple of players out and in.
Yeah, losing a couple of them out of the server right now. So maybe just need a quick restart, maybe just a quick drop or change and check of a setting. These things don't normally take too long. But yeah, we need to see a bit more bite, because you're right. It was really those first 5 rounds of play where Cloud9 looked extremely threatening. Now, they obviously haven't been able to get stuck on their CT side just yet when the rifles come out. But I guess the fact that they are on the CT side second here means it's not going to be able to just constantly go for the saves. They will have to be going for some of these retakes here if they are going to be giving up site control. But I do want to continue to sing the praises of NiP's game plan within that first half, how reserved they are with their utility usage and the type of fights they were kind of forcing Cloud9 into when they wanted to take that space. It looked well organized, and then that geeky little one-way smoke we saw over towards B from Brolin and Plopsky as well. So lots of praises there, even though it was an 8-7 half. Getting the players back on in now. I can see all of them in the server. We've just had the quick little round restore going on, and should be getting this one back underway any second now. Final best of 1 on the day. Tomorrow we'll be getting into 4 more best of 1s to start in the 1-1 matches. There'll be 2 on each stream, the A and the B, and then there'll be 2 best of 3s on each. 2 of them being elimination, 2 of them being progression for the first teams locked in for the playoffs.
NaVi are up there.
Yeah, and this will be the 4th team to join the bunch with the Flames.
Spirit, NaVi, and this team.
Yeah, and it sounds a bit odd when you say the first one, Spirit, and then Flames, or you're like, okay, NaVi, okay, that one makes sense.
If they missed it as well, Chad, I mean, like, to summarize that heroic game, it was actually just Team Spirit
playing some good Counter-Strike.
Playing good Counter-Strike. I don't think any alarm bells should be ringing for heroic fans, more so than perhaps it's going to shake the mental, but just, yeah, Team Spirit playing a very good game, and Patsy just being another one. I can't believe we, just when I thought we'd had enough young guns showing up and kicking up a fuss, we've got another one to watch out for. First major for him, and his stats are off the charts. Just a 2 rounds, or rather 2 kill spread from the individuals of NiP. It's very much a team effort here as they do take on Cloud9's lighter buy.
Yeah, yet to get Axel activated here within this map. Now, he was a force to be reckoned with during their first game against Outsiders. Shiro has been gifted the opportunity to wield FAMAS again, and a combo of the 2 strike. S-Tag and Plopsky down, and a 5-on-3.
That is a dream start for Cloud9 on a half buy. I mean, there are gaps, and you can see Rez is immediately trying to thrust himself through it. Axel to address it. When there's smoke, there's usually fire. More to come. Rez has slipped into the library, trying to find one. I think he may have caught a barrel of Shiro. And now confirms NaVi. Woof, dinks him with the dualies and the dunk from Shiro. Activated on the FAMAS. 2 kills on this weapon, and there's a third on the agenda. Brolin known, tagged, and soon to be body bagged. He's got 1 out with the Mac 10. Oh, what long range! Takes down Inters. And he's not stopping there. He's still trying to get into the site. Brollan a threat now. He could be cleared. He's not ready for this.
They don't know he's out, though.
Here's them both. Sight! Oh, Brollan's doing it! This is craziness. I think he knows Hobbit's there.
Oh.
Jumps through. Hobbit will pull it across the line, but not without a heroic attempt from Brollan. Catapults to the top of the table, but still Cloud9 win. A half-buy investment, and those 2 frags on the break is how they find it.
Yeah, NaVi willing to give Shiro back the Famous to have a second crack. It was the same 2 A defenders, but this time with a more proactive approach on their A hold. Aggressive apartments so they couldn't be popped on like the previous. And Shiro now, today, in 3 rounds of lighter buys, he has a massive impact. On Mirage, he had 1 round on the T side, 1 round on the CT side, and now here on Inferno, getting it done when Cloud9 needed him.
Oh, cancels his plans there. Estec has to cancel his plans because he's communicating as well. There is a gap that has to be filled. Hampus already in the apartments.
Yeah, that sends Axel, Shiro back quite quickly with the AWP. Pepperdon down to 60 points of health. Cannot reside up and towards the apartments any longer. No banana control just yet for NiP, but it's not being fought for by Cloud9.
Interesting. You can see that they are concerned about the boost. They're coming through, so they're going to take full top mid control. No AWP allowed to be patrolling for answers, so they are in the dark as it stands.
This might come quick. Look at the space they're taking. They're creeping and looking for fights here.
No bomb commitment, but they are poking and prodding.
They're very forward positions. It means that Cloud9 can't really rotate.
And now the line is drawn in the sand. Util sails over. Couple of flashes. The last of them. Just pausing so close. Up in their grill, the B players none the wiser. The A players too, they will be now. Crossfire, flash, good one, NaVi. Whoa! Upon release of his crouch, he's relieved of his life, and that'll do. That'll do, Pig. That's a reference to Babe.
Which most of you who are watching right now were probably not born when that movie came out.
No,
but
still stands up though.
It's a great film, and that was a great round. The amount of space that NiP were able to take there completely undetected was insane. It just went from 0 to 100. Because if you're Axel in the pit and you're NaVi in the side, you're just sitting there, you know that the territory is given on up, but the only thing you hear is the moto smoke, a flash, and then both of you pop your heads up, and you're dead. The round is already done. You didn't even get an opportunity to be a jarring force whatsoever in slowing down the Swedes, who have just grabbed their 11th round, 5 away from putting himself in that 2-0 column.
Amazing scenes. The flashbang they used on to catch NaVi. I mean, he has 0 time to react. A perfect pop flash. And as long as you've got teammates that are willing to take that space and take that ballsy push, you've got a round very quickly. Really cool way to put a T round on the board. It's going to put us up to, a 3-1 scoreline in the second half. It was 8-7, but NiP, they are within touching distance. If they can break through a fully bought up CT squad here, Shiro's going to be on his AWP.
Shiro needs some help, though. And I mean in terms of just individuals trying to shut it down. Right, I know that Ence is at 10 and Hobbit's on 11. They were both on the other side of the map. NaVi and Axel holding this A side haven't been contributing in buckets and spades just yet. But under control this time. So Hampus, wherever he wants to go, the aggressive in-game leader will take the space, have his teammates try and set him up, and they get to isolate a fight. Exchanging flames here as both are held at bay over towards Banana.
Tempered in their progression. Nade is good onto Brollan. Next step, flash and jiggle. Nothing.
They are being very threatening, though, early.
All the time.
Yeah, like every piece of utility as well is just setting them up to take that next step. And this is to help...
Dreamy.
Yeah, this is to help force Cloud9 into using that util. We know that that's what this is about, right? It's warfare of attrition, making sure that you can force out all of those smoke grenades, and they've done exactly that. That has left Cloud9 in a position to gamble. And they've gambled correctly right now. The AWP here, that nade, destined for success. Chip damage done to 2.
There is nothing left to slow them down but the incendiary of Hobbit. And here they come, a full commit. Shiro, perfect contribution. If he could get anything else done, his team should be set for success. Time, light on. Another contribution from Shiro, and finally Cloud9 are looking to set for a clean one. It's just 2 Swedes remaining, or rather, 1 of each. Is Esatag the exception? Now has to be exceptional. He's got 15 seconds, the poor Salt. Hanging out with the fish. He's hurt, he's sprayed, he's planting, he's dead. That's the end of my TED talk. 11 though to 9. That's Cloud9 find themselves a convincing defensive round.
Okay, keeping it competitive here. And I said that, Shiro needs some help. Apparently he doesn't. He'll just do it all. Just rotates on over and pips 2 on the way on in. You could see them posturing, hoping for the re-peek. And then they waited so long, he didn't peek. And then as soon as they moved on in, he did. So Shiro being quite the force right now, as it is a 2-round game. Enough for a bye here for an NiP. It was very tidy in how they took that map control. Now, I guess it can be Hampus watch, because where he seems to go, the team seems to follow.
Yeah, very, very much one of the in-game leaders to watch in the fragging department.
Looks like they want to go B again here, but this time with less tells. More bodies.
Oh! If Hobbit's getting warmed up, you really should be scared. He gets info, gets away, and surely NiP pull the plug on this. You don't want to full commit into them. It does seem like they do exactly want to do that.
Well, I think they want to get ahead of this Shiro rotation, and because it's so early and the util hasn't been used so quickly, Cloud9 haven't gone for that gamble, and now that it's a 4-on-5, maybe they feel that they don't have to. But unless Shiro and Intes can get a kill or 2 between them here, this will still be a hard retake.
These flashes aren't going to stop. Hampus has 4. Just going to keep throwing them out. More to come. They're in the open. Intes has to hold on, and has. He gets 2, 3 from Intes. Lordy! And Hampus is his next victim. He's only got 30 HP. He is done for. The rotate wasn't necessary, Chad. He's done it on his own. You said they had to show up, and they have. Oh, and that feels good. Cloud9, they can count on Intes. 3 kills on the NiP commit. That's going to have to force them to change their plans. B site is not a gimme.
That was huge as well. And you could see the amount of Molotovs used in the site right there. It was just laden with flames. The 2 players, Intes and Hobbit, were touching. They were connected by a rope right here. You can see them bumping into each other and still able to convert 3 massive kills. Huge from Intes. That's what you need from your rock right there. And then the mop and bucket comes out for NaVi. As NiP are left with pebbles and peanuts here as they're just down to these pistols and going fast B. Hobbit's going to have a field day here, 2 for him. And Intes is looking for another 3-piece.
Delicious. Oh, he's done it with the flames instead. So, done the cooking.
Flambéed. Come on, boys, you went fast.
I mean,
what are you stopping for now?
What is there to really get done? Run boost, of course. Yeah, that was what they needed.
Oh, they get another kill out of it.
Another kill.
Yeah, we'll take that.
A rifle, and maybe even another kill if he's feeling really brave. And stunt nade does nothing.
Points, though. Of the style variety.
NT in the chat.
All tied up, 11-11. Okay. This game's still got a couple of twists and turns left.
Yeah, NiP are going to be humbled here. It's going to be less than ideal. We're going to be seeing a couple of galols. And, wow, is that really NiP's first time out? There's another little testament to the amount of pressure they've been feeling. This is where we start to see the mark of that changing of the tide once again. Cloud9, with funds in the bank, a fully invested defensive side. And, I mean, it's serious when Hobbit's not smiling. Try to keep a stone face as he makes sure his troops are prepared.
I'm just taking a quick look at the spawns right now because Shiro's actually been quite active, right? And that's what you want to see from your primary AWPer, especially someone as talented as Shiro. He has a very good spawn to cross mid quickly here for a pick or to jump up swiftly in towards the apartment's position and go quite aggressive. So just curious to see if he wants to take this and try and set the tone into round number 23 here.
You're right, yeah. Well, he hasn't asked for a smoke or a run boost. He's actually just going to do it on his own. What's his plan?
Could just be a peek on the flag. Oh, jump for info. Re-peek off of this. He's likely to know there's no AWP, so this is confident stuff from Shiro here.
Yeah, just going to hold it. I have mid, he says, as one does jump across. Unless he's got eyes in the soles of his feet, will not have that info back. Where did Brolin's health just go? One down the gullet, more nades scooped up.
Again, but last time they full B exec, it was with like 3 Molotovs. Oh dear, NaVi has so much info. Get a move on right now. Intes can rotate on over. On an island is Hobbit. The fact that NaVi is so far forward, they should be rotating 2 players and swiftly.
They are. There's a barrage of util, like already committing in. Rez feels like the site might be...
Gap in the smoke.
Huge gap, but Rez across. Nice find through the smoke. Brolin unable to contribute a thing, but they are in. More info on the gap. They've got so much util for this retake. The bomb now down. A man to the good are Cloud9.
And 2 Banana on the retake right here. They have NiP pinned on in.
Flashing bad. Frag is better. Axel's got away back into through Banana. They're just in pool. Oh, and another smoke frag. Hobbit doesn't need to see anyone. He's already got 2. A third seems likely. They just drop to the Hobbit. And that is another spotless round, a retake on B. And NiP so stubborn on this B site. They will not learn.
That right there, though, I was very, very worried there for the Cloud9 defense because they were out of position. They had 4 over towards A, even with nafany's forward position in towards the boiler room. It was just Hobbit on the site, but it actually worked out in their favor that they were playing retake on B because it meant they didn't take any casualties. There was forced gaps in the smokes right there because of how flustered it was onto the way into the site, and that caused bigger problems for NiP because every time they've entered B previously, they've been dealing with the deep play from Hobbit, from Inters into the backlines, or Shiro playing coffins with that AWP. This time, a whole different look. If you can't find the fights, they couldn't get into the site cleanly. They're going to have a hard time of holding on to this one. And consecutive timeouts now called from DJL to try and have a conversation about how they can get themselves back into this game. They don't have enough to go for a full investment as we get the highlights here of how Hobbit is apparently able to track everybody through the smokes. It is going to be a half buy coming out of NiP. Lost bonus maxed on out into the next. So all good as far as the buy department going into round number 25. But what can they make work? What execute? What pocket strat do they have up their sleeves right here? Is there any NiP magic left in the tank? Or is it just the namesake in play?
There's a one-way in play here. Axel's thrown it out. That should cage any progression that Polomsky was considering.
This is very telling of once they get the territory they want, it will be some form of a set piece. Right? They've invested into this utility for a reason. We've got a whole bunch of smokes, a bunch of flashes. Now, if it's progressive, right, they could just work on mid-wall control first, or it could be more explosive. Smoke towards long, trying to draw out some util. It's doing exactly that. Flash top mid, and they will be given control here. So a lot of room garnered for NiP, still with a minute on the clock.
Yeah, and if you really want to run into a 4-man stack, it's unenviable. Plopsky could molly Graveyard or Pit. He's the only one that's detached from the pack. Orp fires off a shot. Shiro noted. Smokes in the sky. They are committing here, and Intage in the power position. They've missed the molly. Oh no, they know where he is at least. Oh, damn, he's down, and only Axel, the one spray, one frag may not be enough. Insufficient, as they do open up. There was a 4-man stack on the site, and NiP leave with 3 rifles in a round.
Very unlikely round to see them bounce back in as well, and they just brute force their way in. Just brute force their way in. When Inters popped up his head, he got noted. And it looked like a flash was getting thrown directly in his direction there, so when he popped up again, they'd already scoured into the site. Axel there with a wild spray, unable to convert anything more than 1 kill, and that's Plopsky's death. That's it. Axel being the A anchor. If I'm DJL, I'm probably changing the dialogue here to try and just condition them, press Shiro back, be very diligent with your flashes in future rounds so that AWP can't be a problem, and then try and go for these short and halls plays.
I mean, look, the 2 players that have been your biggest problems have both been problems at B.
Exactly.
It's Shiro, it's Hobbit. Both forced to save. I mean, why? It's definitely in your interest to have it less than favorable for them to have impact. Admittedly, you don't know what the reaction might be out of the Cloud9 setup.
But they even had 4 here, Alex.
Let's see how this went so wrong. So nafany's fully blind, fine. Smokes completely nullifies Shiro's contributions. Inters gets run down, and then it was really Axel who couldn't get more than the multi-kill he was required to find. But yeah, the util, I mean, you talk about executes. That was just pistols.
Oof, last timeout called from Cloud9 here as well. So last opportunity that Groove gets to take the sting out of a round loss like that. Now, they did hold on to a couple of guns. There's still residual cash left over for Cloud9 here. It will take 2 consecutive with NiP wiping them out completely. This being one of those 2.
Shiro really does only... Oh, he's got 6k. Okay, he just hasn't bought.
It might be the AWP on the ground as well here. Looks like, yeah, he's got it over towards library to scoop one up. It's just obscured.
Oh, there
by
it is.
this banner.
I see, yeah. I see it there. Okay, I was making me weirded out.
But this is the thing, right? So you had 4 at A and you still lose to a Tech 9 round? Like, you almost have to be certain that they'd want to go back towards A again.
No doubt about it. See what the change-up is.
Well, into starting A is a change-up.
And it's all and Hobbit that's willing to stomach a solo B.
This is the same setup they went for before when NaVi pushed on in towards the window room and had a lot of info. I don't know if he wants to go for the same type of maneuver, but they don't want to give up the mid control this time. Look at how many forward positions they have on mid right here. AWP on the slither gap, Inter's anti-flash, NaVi on the jiggle, and Axel babysitting halls who could also contribute to fight top mid. So they don't want to give up that space again, Cloud9.
Might be taken from them. Coming through boiler. Smoke, and Intis does not choose to be in front of it.
Yeah, NaVi's also dropped back as well, so it didn't take a lot to get this at least postured mid control. NiP don't know what lies on the other side, but as Hampus drops out a lurk smoke here, it does really look like they're turning the screws to continue towards A. Very standard util set you're seeing lobbed out here to get this mid control.
Well, there's one less defender this time.
And they're up.
And they already have a lot of position with plenty more flashbangs and Molotovs. Not a single smoke in play though, so this is going to have to be the gunfight. Oof. Oh, they know that Long is threatened. Brolin not going to be giving that one up. He's continuing to apply pressure there. Just as now, Hamper starts dumping his util as well. Rez up short side. Axel in a bit of a hurt locker here. Shiro hiding in the smoke. Brolin could get caught out here. Barrel sticks out and problems now. NaVi double, running out of time. 8 seconds, the triple kill out of NaVi. They cannot contest the plant. It will be 2v3. But so much done by NaVi and only Brolin now. He had a close one before. Could he possibly pull the clutch? An ace clutch, no less, out of the bag. Coming in from every angle, still pit occupied. Inter's alongside his first focus and already chipped away at. That's the end of that. Cloud9 recover, courtesy of NaVi. 3 on their commitment.
He's got 11 kills to his name here, but that is only his second multi-kill in the game so far, and a multi-kill that he had to get right there to shut that one down, because you saw the barrel get spotted on the way through that long side. Shiro just gets absolutely blanked. And NaVi steps on up, mows them down, and grabs Cloud9 their 13th. But this game is back and forth, a tug of war. The plant is great. It gets NiP back into the buys here, but here it is one more time. The in-game leader. 3 huge kills, and he knows how much that one means, getting fired on up. That's his signature right there. And an NiP back into a timeout of their own. While we said it's likely that they continue towards A, they went into a less defended bomb site this time round and were unable to collapse with the rifles in the same way they did with the Tech 9s in the previous. Still plenty of cash. No T-sided AWP being opted for here, and you can understand why. They're operating as quite the unit here, NiP, and it is tidy. But do they want a playmaker now to enter the server and try and find them something early? Because they're getting the space. Do they want to find an opening kill? Do they want to be a bit more aggressive in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, for the last 2 rounds, it's been just Hobbit to B. There's not going to be a lot of util that will stand in your way. I say that as they dispatch 3 off spawn. So if you do try knocking on Banana's door now, there is going to be a lot more than you bargained for. Faking it. Pulls more utility out of the CTs as Rez will mantle up. Typical procedures, announcing an app's presence. 3 of them, in fact, are actually maneuvering. Only Rez the one to make a song and dance about it.
Hey, this is actually quite conservative stuff from NiP. Just a default spread in similar fashion as what Cloud9 would do, right? Avoid as much utility damage as possible, and Shiro apparently wants to have a look mid-round. AWP trained, shot taken, aggression noted. And that's going to make them a little bit more skittish as they try and take this mid-control here.
Ooh, and yeah, actually that incendiary extinguished through the boiler smoke. So a bit unfortunate there.
Knocking on the door of A again, 57 seconds on the clock. Flash forward, mid-control taken, and maybe they want to try and creep up again. We've seen it work once for NiP.
This is dreamy.
This is the same play. This worked for them before.
Yeah, but NaVi's not going to be susceptible to that same flashbang. And now Axile at any point can strike Rez long range onto Shiro, so he doesn't go down empty-handed. You do see the nade softening him up. 7 HP, and that is another successful A take from the Ninjas. I mean, I was going to say if it ain't broke, but It was previously. They just come straight back to it.
Yeah, we've seen that round before out of NiP, right, where they're able to snake their way up and be so threatening right there. But that shot over towards Shiro in Library, right, he takes a little bit of flak damage, and then I think that being scared on off, right, he peeks back in and gets absolutely destroyed right there. And in that kind of a passive setup, it's great if they execute. It's not great if they walk on up on you like that, because they can just sit, wait, and isolate the fights. How are you meant to get out of the coldzera box and the graveyard position? You're very, very locked on those holds.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cloud9 opt for something more forward.
They have to.
I mean, boost up on quad, have someone anti, someone underneath. Just don't let NiP ever get into that stat, because that just seems like a guarantee. Once they've got that much territory and can just slowly dig their claws deeper into you. This is 13-13. We continue to trade blows back and forth for the last 4.
Brolin has really turned this game around. Now, I know it was the super, super early stages, but you remember, I think it was like 0-5 at one point. He's now topping the scoreboard right here for his squad. 17 kills for him. 13 for Esatag, 12 for Rez, 11 for Plopsky, and 10 for Hampus. So Brolin finding some impact here, the newest addition to the NiP jersey. AWP brought over towards B early here, and maybe the play would be to set Shiro up, post him up with the AWP, and allow the rifles to rotate back on over and try and bolster A. They haven't played too far forward on mid here with this setup, and as we continue to do color by number Counter-Strike, the basics, the defaults, the bread and butter of the high level play. The boiler and holds control. They can't take this banana push. Maybe a fast flank, maybe relinquish this long side. They're not really using it. They're not going long whatsoever, right? It is traditionally mainly up this short side.
It would be out of character from Cloud9 though.
Well, the fight's coming again here. Rinse and repeat from NiP.
Yeah, but nothing to report banana, but safe passage through CT. Falls a little quiet for a moment. 3 CTs maneuvering back to the A site, but here comes the ninjas. Just multiple stages to their take. Axel burnt, hiding in the smoke. NaVi pre-aims perfectly to the drop-off, and he's got Brolin in his sights as well. Can't seem to finish him, and it's Hampus that saves him from the heavens, from the top rope. Axel can't find anyone. He's been hiding in plain sight this whole time, and we will find a 2v2. Now the bomb is in pit. You've got 30 seconds, and Hobbit's heading on over. The resmoke should deny any contributions from Hobbit. Inters has short side though. Had short side. He won't have any options now, so they can leave pit. 15 apps possible. Hampus, considering his options, will support from pit. It's been very much heard. And on the speed. Oh, he's been spotted out. Oh, a dink exchange. The AK's better. And NiP leave with the 14th.
Wow.
DJL knows how much that one means. He was so close.
What a tight round that one was, especially with the dink coming on through. A risk taken from Hobbit there to push through the smoke and try and catch a bit of a timing. The shot was good, just couldn't connect onto the second bullet necessary to get that kill.
Look at Axel's maneuver. So he actually leaves pit completely, safe and sound, strikes onto S-Attack, but this second 2v2, oh, dink exchange, and Rez quick onto Inters, so they're really negating Axel's position in pit, because every time he's dropped that smoke to play around the bike, they've had the perfectly placed Molotov. This is new.
Well, we saw them do this with the Save Famus and the P250, not with an AWP and an M4.
Could catch the bedroom progressions. Rez has got into the apartments uncontested. I'd argue and wager 7 rounds.
Oh, NaVi's just rotated over towards B here, so they're thinking NiP are going to change their direction, but A, it's a leaky ship right now.
Plopsky, surely you don't get away with that. All apps, they scream as they do start to launch. They know, wait, 2 apps. Oh, it doesn't matter. Axel's got all 3 of them on the cross back in the setup. It works like a dream. Cloud9 with 2-man A hold. Axel awoken. And it's just Plopsky. Good luck, have fun. Nice headshot onto Shiro. Stops it from being a full whitewash. Perfect. 66. And another frag for Plopsky. Surely there's nothing more to be said. The plant will go uncontested.
Another kill would be great here. The cash isn't great over there for Cloud9. If Plopsky can take one more, he's already got the bomb down. This is a very threatening round around the flames here. Oh, the lineup.
Could have been the headshot. Yeah, that dip under it. So we recover. And we continue to trade blows.
It's fortunate he didn't get another kill there. They'll scavenge the AWP back. They can drop that over. It's going to be fine regarding the buy, but if Plopsky did any more damage, it would have been some real issues for Cloud9 trying to buy back in. There's only 2 more rounds to play in this half. We either go to overtime or one of these teams is going to be winning 16-14. Now, Axel, I mentioned it previously with NaVi when he got that multi-kill on the site, it being his second multi-kill of the game. That's Axel's second multi-kill of the game, and he's the A anchor. He has a really rough go of things. A really rough go at things. So finally, in the thick of it, not just stuck at pit, not stuck in graveyard, in a more active position and gets 3 huge kills. So great stuff for Axel, coming alive late. It doesn't matter when you get stuck into the game, as long as you get stuck in.
Shiro is trying to stay dynamic. You can see the options constantly shifting.
Do you doubt it if you're NiP though, right? Do you go back to B? You didn't have any success on that side of the map. Why would you change from going towards A? Sure, you got stunted here, but how many times is Axel going to be able to pull off a maneuver like that? You have to ask yourself.
Yeah, but you do want to make sure that Cloud9 are still scared of this, and that flash is a good way to start it. Hobbit's safe from it.
Oh, that's info on the
Shiro
AWP.
fire a shot?
Yeah, he did. So that's info on the AWP immediately here. Now, the fact that he did fire that shot,
oh wow, yeah.
he's rotating ahead of it here. NiP are trying to get a move on quicker when they've identified that. They're up mid.
Shiro will be there. Lurk smoke drops, so Hampus is really throwing some indicators that this is the commit.
This on the fade.
There'll already be a cross from Shiro's line of sight. Wow, how does Brolin get that? Just to the leg exposed on the crouch. NaVi and Mini Pit, they're already tightening the noose. NaVi known. Deleted. It's Axel in the pit. They know it's Axel. They know he's the pit player, and he only gets the one. Rez still clicking heads. NiP are set for 15, and Hobbit, he's just in this horrible state of panic. It's what do I do? Both of the options suck.
And this is the thing, the buy is going to suck into the next round. So even if he wanted to try and go for some crazy, heroic 1-on-3, he knows that he has to hold on to this M4. It's 1,400, bottom of the barrel loss bonus. That's all that they're going to have coming into the accounts next round. It's going to put Inters in range to get on M for sure. But the other 3 of them, it's going to be a little bit rough around the edges here. Going into the final round of the map with a broken CT buy. And every single time NiP have been able to get this mid controlled, they feel threatening. Even in the rounds they haven't been able to convert, they're able to at least turn their attention, turn the screws, make Cloud9 sweat. The passive play from Cloud9 again in pit, in the mini pit, both those positions, they have not been working for Cloud9. They're not getting the level of production out of those positions that they require here. And NiP, they could be the fourth team to join the 2-0 bucket here today. During the likes of NaVi, Copenhagen Flames, and Spirit tomorrow to be potentially locking themselves in to the playoffs. Look at this. Famouses, MP9s.
All right, well, if ever there was a time for a hero maneuver, OT required if Cloud9 want to keep themselves undefeated here in Antwerp. A win against outsiders, domestic rivals is nice. But made to sweat now up against the Ninjas. It's a far from idyllic buy. And A has been the answer to a lot of their problems on this T side. Can they really get away with it again? Same flight path, same default, same responsibilities. Brolin might be trying to come and get the B players a little on edge.
Yeah, even just a little bit more of a look in here, right? If he throws anything, if he's slightly suppressing, Hampus is out. Those footsteps are heard from NaVi there.
Oh, confirms there's at least 2. One heard out. Rez tagged a little further, down to 37. But they've got their presence in apps. They've got their presence up mid. And they are actually flirting with B. Oh, perfect from NaVi. With an MP9, close range, has taken down Hampus and he's looking for answers. He wants to make sure he has his defensive pieces in the right place. Shiro is heading back to B, maybe.
Oh, I can't see him. He can't see him.
Plopsky will not be considering this though. His crosshair is bang on the money. He knows where he is. And a free frag, an AK upgrade.
But the gap long.
They are
gonna run
trying
into
to
this.
pluck through it. They're chill for now. It's 20 seconds. OT, 3 frags away, and with these recovered rifles, even more threatening. Back to turn, heads are popped, and now suddenly they're flattened. with plenty of time to plant. NiP, what a recovery. Brolin's gotten away with murder there, 1 HP. He's not playing a headshot angle. It doesn't matter his health if he gets away with that. He's just playing for the round. He's just playing for the round. Yeah, get that smoke out. Esatag even has a molly for short. Get her down. Problems now. Where's the kits? One on Hobbit. Up and over. It's powerful, it's potent, but look how restrained the ninjas are being. Time is their best friend to finish in regulation. A 3v5, 2 on 2, 1 on 1, 1 HP. And I think they might have time. Pre-fires in, and I think we're done. I think we're done. Ninjas in pajamas pull it. Just about blood, sweat, and tears across the line in regulation. Good grief. A highly competitive affair.
And threats here with the boys as well. The analyst is here to play. Joins the celebrations. Massive stuff for NiP in the final round, showing Cloud9 how to lock down the A bomb site with a passive hold of their own. Stick to their guns. A 3-on-5 to get it done. 16-14. The Swedes find themselves one game away from the arena.
Underestimated all the way. A 16-4 thrashing and then a full 30 rounds up against Cloud9, no less. New colors and perhaps a new rivalry brewing. That is going to get under their skin. But another team in that 1-1 bracket that you don't really want to mess with.
Yeah, some very big names tomorrow still to be played out in those best of ones, but a highly entertaining game and some really good Counter-Strike being played from NiP here, doing it by the book, right? You could see their approach. Enjoyed what I watched, loved what we saw on that CT side, and a very close game, so this was entertaining. The desk, they were excited. I think we got what they were looking for.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. That checked every box for an entertaining game of Counter-Strike. Obviously, for Cloud9, that's going to take them straight back to the drawing board. Some things to analyze. What were the key takeaways from seeing Cloud9 hit in Inferno?
Maybe try and get a bit more diversity around that A site, because we've exploited time and time again in this one. Here it did tend to be a bit of an issue there towards the tail stages of that second half.
It cannot be a recurring theme of Axel not getting online. As your pit player, you usually
making sure that when they do want to take territory, you're greeting them with just as much of your own. Here we go. The odds still quite heavily favoring Cloud9 here. And wow, 8-7. Quite a good half here. Julie's out in the hands of Shiro. He's been dropped them. Kit, HE for Hobbit. 2 flashes for Inters to try and facilitate. And on the T side here from NiP, it's 2-3 spread. 3 over towards second mid. They're flashing the fight coming on through. NaVi can't connect the dots, can't find a fight, but Axel can, and he's being gooshed. Not long for this world. Esatag will find him.
How many people actually connected a bullet onto Axel there? Okay.
This is still huge from NaVi, though. The fact that he's tucked on down quite aggressively, they are noting that there is the potential for this aggression. You can tell just by the way that Hampus is trying to sniff out the T house. So with this, it's very likely they clear this corner. I think NaVi thinks he has all the room and they don't know, but he should go down. Yeah, exactly that. Now A's open. When you have a player that forward, if they want to get a bit more pep in their step, you would normally, with a player that far ahead of the pack, be, well, saying A's clear. And that's not the case whatsoever. All 5 members from NiP bearing down now.
Yeah, they're not going to let anything slip away. Something that like I wasn't smart enough to contribute to, a conversation in the green room.
Okay.
Maui says nothing triggers him more than seeing CT save on a CT pistol.
Okay.
But like I always thought we justified it like, oh, some Kev, get the free upgrade.
Yeah.
Could you understand where Maui would be coming from? Is it cash? Is it you can always afford to take something away from the T's? I mean, I wasn't smart enough. I just kind of smiled and nodded.
Yeah, look, I think, and I don't know if we're even going to get to see it here. I think Shiro might go on down. But one of the things with saving on the CT pistol, if it is the armor left over, it means that it's going to free you up with a few extra resources into the next round. And something which teams have been doing a little bit more of recently is once they do save the armor, then they'll have a FAMAS, right? You know, if somebody got a kill, they'll make sure there's a FAMAS in play. And that right there can be quite strong because, you know, FAMAS with Kevlar, I know it's not head armor, but it still can be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, and angle dependent. There's lots of spots you can get away with. Hobbit is going to save himself a kit and a nade. And that's an NiP pistol, so pitching,
okay, got something. Yeah, well, Shiro will be able to get at that FAMAS now if he would like, and he can actually drop those Julies across. So if they wanted to force, and it looks like they are, it can be quite a tidy force coming on through. And then there it is, the Shiro Fama. So I guess we can have that conversation that you were happening in front of our eyes right here. Shiro would only have been able to go for a buy like this if he did save that Kevlar. So they've been able to keep a pair of Julies. They have a Famas in play, 257s to CZ, and a couple of bits and bobs. 4 smokes in total, make it 5.
Plenty of utility, so NiP really can pull the defense around. Does seem rather
direct.
Yeah, direct.
Yeah.
I was going to say clear intent. NiP just off the break without any information.
Axel needs multiple kills here. This round's over.
He's got a rather flamboyant setup on the 5-7. He's going to eat a flash. Oh, no, he's not. Still doesn't get anything done, and that FAMAS does nothing. NiP set for a 10th.
We will see another Cloud9 save here. There's no way into a round like this. If you want to linger around and see if you can get maybe a gun like that, then yeah, you can justify it. But otherwise, it's going to be more of the same. Cloud9, we're playing the percentages, holding on to the armor, holding on to the upgraded pistols here, and trying again into the next round of play. NiP already know this, right? There's no threat, there's no shots, there's no sound cues of any regard. So they know that if they wanted, they could start to have a little bit of a look around here and apply some pressure, but Brolin's passive position over towards T-Stairs means that they just might want to hold on to their goodies too. And NiP have come on in here with quite a clear game plan.
I mean, Cloud9 were everyone's favorite, and NiP, in their first game against Vitality, people very quick to dismiss as A, you know,
Vitality.
Vitality. Yeah, B, Apex's career low major performance in that map alone. And that Lightning wasn't going to strike twice in the form of an S-Tag top frag. But so far, Cloud9 have yet to be able to dig their teeth and dig their claws into the Inferno and start running away with it. 5-0 was great. 2 on the tail end of the half made it an 8-7 half. But NiP, this is going to be their next big test. Quick tech pause. It looks like we're going to have to just quickly get a couple of players out and in.
Yeah, losing a couple of them out of the server right now, so maybe just need a quick restart, maybe just a quick chop or change and check of a setting. These things don't normally take too long. But yeah, we need to see a bit more bite, because you're right, it was really those first 5 rounds of play where Cloud9 looked extremely threatening. Now, they obviously haven't been able to get stuck on their CT side just yet when the rifles come out, but I guess the fact that they are on the CT side second here means it's not going to be able to just constantly go for the saves. They will have to be going for some of these retakes here if they are going to be giving up site control. But I do want to continue to sing the praises of NiP's game plan within that first half, how reserved they are with their utility usage and the type of fights they were kind of forcing Cloud9 into when they wanted to take that space. It looked well organized, and then that geeky little one-way smoke we saw over towards B from Brolin and Plopsky as well. So lots of praises there, even though it was an 8-7 half. Getting the players back on in now. I can see all of them in the server. We've just had the quick little round restore going on, and should be getting this one back underway any second now. Final best of 1 on the day. Tomorrow we'll be getting into 4 more best of 1s to start in the 1-1 matches. There'll be 2 on each stream, the A and the B, and then there'll be 2 best of 3s on each. 2 of them being elimination, 2 of them being progression for the first teams locked in for the playoffs.
NaVi are up there.
Yeah, and this will be the 4th team to join the bunch with the Flames.
Spirit, NaVi, and this team.
Yeah, and it sounds a bit odd when you say the first one, Spirit, and then Flames, or you're like, okay, NaVi, okay, that one makes sense.
If they missed it as well, Chad, I mean, like, to summarize that heroic game, it was actually just Team Spirit
playing some good Counter-Strike.
Playing good Counter-Strike. I don't think any alarm bells should be ringing for heroic fans, more so than perhaps it's going to shake the mental, but just, yeah, Team Spirit playing a very good game, and Patsy just being another one. I can't believe we, just when I thought we'd had enough young guns showing up and kicking up a fuss, we've got another one to watch out for. First major for him, and his stats are off the charts. Just a 2 rounds, or rather 2 kill spread from the individuals of NiP. It's very much a team effort here as they do take on Cloud9's lighter buy.
Yeah, yet to get Axel activated here within this map. Now, he was a force to be reckoned with during their first game against Outsiders. Shiro has been gifted the opportunity to build the Famas again, and the combo of the 2 strike. S-Tag and Plopsky down, and a 5-on-3.
That is a dream start for Cloud9 on a half buy. I mean, there are gaps, and you can see Rez is immediately trying to thrust himself through it. Axel to address it. When there's smoke, there's usually fire. More to come. Rez has slipped into the library, trying to find one. I think he may have caught a barrel of Shiro. And now confirms NaVi. Woof, dinks him with the dualies and the dunk from Shiro. Activated on the FAMAS. 2 kills on this weapon, and there's a third on the agenda. Brolin known, tagged, and soon to be body bagged. He's got one out with the Mac 10. Oh, what long range! Takes down Inters. And he's not stopping there. He's still trying to get into the site. Brolin a threat now. He could be cleared. He's not ready for this.
They don't know he's out, though.
Here's them both. Sight! Oh, Brolin's doing it! This is craziness. I think he knows Hobbit's there. Oh. Jumps through. Hobbit will pull it across the line, but not without a heroic attempt from Brolan. Catapults to the top of the table, but still Cloud9 win. A half-buy investment, and those 2 frags on the break is how they find it.
Yeah, NaVi willing to give Shiro back the FAMAS to have a second crack. It was the same 2 A defenders, but this time with a more proactive approach on their A hold. Aggressive apartments so they couldn't be popped on like the previous. And Shiro now, today, in 3 rounds of lighter buys, he has a massive impact. On Mirage, he had 1 round on the T side, 1 round on the CT side, and now here on Inferno, getting it done when Cloud9 needed him.
Oh, cancels his plans there. Estec has to cancel his plan. You can see he's communicating as well. There is a gap that has to be filled. Hampus already in the apartments.
Yeah, that sends Axel, Shiro back quite quickly with the AWP. Peppered on down to 60 points of health. Cannot reside up and towards the apartments any longer. No banana control just yet for NiP, but it's not being fought for by Cloud9.
Interesting. You can see that they are concerned about the boost. They're coming through, so they're going to take full top mid control. No AWP allowed to be patrolling for answers, so they are in the dark as it stands.
This might come quick. Look at the space they're taking. They're creeping and looking for fights here.
No bomb commitment, but they are poking and prodding.
They're very forward positions. It means that Cloud9 can't really rotate.
And now the line is drawn in the sand. Util sails over. Couple of flashes. The last of them. Just pausing so close. Up in their grill. The B players none the wiser. The A players too. They will be now. Crossfire, flash, good one. NaVi. Whoa! Upon release of his crouch, he's relieved of his life, and that'll do. That'll do, Pig. That's a reference to Babe.
Which most of you who are watching right now were probably not born when that movie came out.
No,
but
still stands up though.
It's a great film, and that was a great round. The amount of space that NiP were able to take there completely undetected was insane. It just went from 0 to 100. Because if you're Axel in the pit and you're NaVi in the side, you're just sitting there, you know that the territory is given on up, but the only thing you hear is the moto smoke, a flash, and then both of you pop your heads up, and you're dead. The round is already done. You didn't even get an opportunity to be a jarring force whatsoever in slowing down the Swedes, who have just grabbed their 11th round, 5 away from putting himself in that 2-0 column.
Amazing scenes. The flashbang they used on to catch NaVi. I mean, he has 0 time to react. A perfect pop flash. And as long as you've got teammates that are willing to take that space and take that ballsy push, you've got a round very quickly. Really cool way to put a T round on the board. It's going to put us up to, a 3-1 scoreline in the second half. It was 8-7, but NiP, they are within touching distance. If they can break through a fully bought up CT squad here, Shiro's going to be on his AWP.
Shiro needs some help, though. And I mean in terms of just individuals trying to shut it down. Right, I know that Ence is at 10 and Hobbit's on 11. They were both on the other side of the map. NaVi and Axel are holding this A side. Haven't been contributing in buckets and spades just yet. But under control this time. So Hampus, wherever he wants to go, the aggressive in-game leader will take the space, have his teammates try and set him up, and they get to isolate a fight. Exchanging flames here as both are held at bay over towards Banana.
Tempered in their progression. Nade is good onto Brolan. Next step, flash and jiggle. Nothing.
They are being very threatening, though, early.
All the time.
Yeah, like every piece of utility as well is just setting them up to take that next step. And this is to help...
Dreamy.
Yeah, this is to help force Cloud9 into using that util. We know that that's what this is about, right? It's warfare of attrition, making sure that you can force out all of those smoke grenades, and they've done exactly that. That has left Cloud9 in a position to gamble. And they've gambled correctly right now. The AWP here, that nade, destined for success. Chip damage done to 2.
There is nothing left to slow them down but the incendiary of Hobbit. And here they come, a full commit. Shiro, perfect contribution. If he could get anything else done, his team should be set for success. Time, light on. Another contribution from Shiro, and finally cloud9 are looking to set for a clean one. It's just 2 Swedes remaining, or rather, 1 of each. Is Tag the exception? Now has to be exceptional. He's got 15 seconds, the poor soul. Hanging out with the fish. He's hurt, he's sprayed, he's planting, he's dead. That's the end of my TED Talk. 11, though, to 9. That's cloud9 find themselves a convincing defensive round.
Okay, keeping it competitive here. And I said that, you know, Shiro needs some help. Apparently he doesn't. He'll just do it all. Just rotates on over and pips 2 on the way on in. You could see them posturing, hoping for the peek. And then they waited so long, he didn't peek. And then as soon as they moved on in, he did. So Shiro being quite the force right now, as it is a 2-round game. Enough for a bye here for an NiP. It was very tidy in how they took that map control. Now, I guess it can be Hampus' watch, because where he seems to go, the team seems to follow.
Yeah, very, very much one of the in-game leaders to watch in the fragging department.
Looks like they want to go B again here, but this time with less tells. More bodies.
Oh! If Hobbit's getting warmed up, you really should be scared. He gets info, gets away, and surely NiP pull the plug on this. You don't want to full commit into them. Does seem like they do exactly want to do that.
Well, I think they want to get ahead of this Shiro rotation, and because it's so early and the util hasn't been used so quickly, Cloud9 haven't gone for that gamble, and now that it's a 4-on-5, maybe they feel that they don't have to. But unless Shiro and Inters can get a kill or 2 between them here, this will still be a hard retake.
These flashes aren't going to stop. Hampus has 4. Just going to keep throwing them out. More to come. They're in the open. Inters has to hold on, and has. He gets 2, 3 from Inters. Lordy! And Hampus is his next victim. He's only got 30 HP. He is done for. The rotate wasn't necessary, Chad. He's done it on his own. You said they had to show up, and they have. Oh, and you know that feels good. Cloud9, they can count on Inters. 3 kills on the NiP commit. That's going to have to force them to change their plans. B site is not a gimme.
That was huge as well. And you could see the amount of Molotovs used in the site right there. It was just laden with flames. The 2 players, Inters and Hobbit, were touching. They were connected by a rope right here. You can see them bumping into each other and still able to convert 3 massive kills. Huge from Inters. That's what you need from your rock right there. And then the mop and bucket comes out for Nafany. As NiP are left with pebbles and peanuts here as they're just down to these pistols and going fast B. Hobbit's going to have a field day here. 2 for him. And Inters is looking for another 3-piece.
Delicious. Oh, he's done it with the flames instead. So, done the cooking.
Flambéed. Come on, boys, you went fast.
I mean,
what are you stopping for now?
What is there to really get done? Run boost, of course. Yeah, that was what they needed.
Oh, they got another kill out of it.
Another kill.
Yeah, we'll take that.
A rifle, and maybe even another kill if he's feeling really brave. And stunt nade does nothing.
Points, though. Of the style variety.
NT in the chat.
Well, all tied up. 11-11. Okay. This game's still got a couple of twists and turns left.
Yeah, NiP are going to be humbled here. It's going to be less than ideal. We're going to be seeing a couple of galols. And, wow, is that really NiP's first timeout? There's another little testament to how the amount of pressure they've been feeling. This is where we start to see the mark of that changing of the tide once again. Cloud9, with funds in the bank, a fully invested defensive side. And, I mean, you know it's serious when Hobbit's not smiling. Try to keep a stone face as he makes sure his troops are prepared.
I'm just taking a quick look at the spawns right now because Shiro's actually been quite active, right? And that's what you want to see from your primary AWPer, especially someone as talented as Shiro. He has a very good spawn to cross mid quickly here for a pick or to jump up swiftly in towards the apartment's position and go quite aggressive. So just curious to see if he wants to take this and try and set the tone into round number 23 here.
You're right, yeah. Well, he hasn't asked for a smoke or a run boost. He's actually just going to do it on his own. What's his plan?
Could just be a peek on the flag. Oh, jump for info. Re-peek off of this. He's likely to know there's no AWP, so this is confident stuff from Shiro here.
Yeah, just going to hold it. I have mid, he says, as one does jump across. Unless he's got eyes in the soles of his feet, will not have that info back. Where did Brolin's health just go? One down the gullet, more nades scooped up.
Again, but last time they full B exec, it was with like 3 Molotovs. Oh dear, NaVi has so much info. Get a move on right now. Inters can rotate on over. On an island is Hobbit. The fact that NaVi's so far forward, they should be rotating 2 players and swiftly.
They are. There's a barrage
It might be too
util,
late.
like already committing in. Rez feels like the site might be
Gap in the smoke.
huge gap, but Rez across, nice find through the smoke. Brolin unable to contribute a thing, but they are in. More info on the gap. They've got so much util for this retake. The bomb now down. A man to the good are cloud9.
And 2 Banana on the retake right here. They have NiP pinned on in.
Flashing bad. Frag is better. Axel's got away back into through Banana. They're just in pool. Oh, and another smoke frag. Hobbit doesn't need to see anyone. He's already got 2. A third seems likely. They just drop to the Hobbit. And that is another spotless round, a retake on B. And NiP so stubborn on this B site. They will not learn.
That right there, though, I was very, very worried there for the Cloud9 defense because they were out of position. They had 4 over towards A, even with NaVi's forward position in towards the boiler room. It was just Hobbit on the site, but it actually worked out in their favor that they were playing retake on B because it meant they didn't take any casualties. There was forced gaps in the smokes right there because of how flustered it was onto the way into the site, and that caused bigger problems for NiP because every time they've entered B previously, they've been dealing with the deep play from Hobbit, from Inters into the backlines, or Shiro playing coffins with that AWP. This time, a whole different look. If you can't find the fights, they couldn't get into the site cleanly. They're going to have a hard time of holding on to this one. And consecutive timeouts now called from DJL to try and have a conversation about how they can get themselves back into this game. They don't have enough to go for a full investment as we get the highlights here of how Hobbit is apparently able to track everybody through the smokes. It is going to be a half buy coming out of NiP. Lost bonus maxed on out into the next. So all good as far as the buy department going into round number 25. But what can they make work? What execute? What pocket strat do they have up their sleeves right here? Is there any NiP magic left in the tank? Or is it just the namesake in play?
There's a one-way in play here. Axel's thrown it out. That should cage any progression that Polomsky was considering.
This is very telling of once they get the territory they want, it will be some form of a set piece. Right? They've invested into this utility for a reason. They've got a whole bunch of smokes, a bunch of flashes. Now, if it's progressive, right, they could just work on mid-wall control first, or it could be more explosive. Smoke towards long, trying to draw out some util. It's doing exactly that. Flash top mid, and they will be given control here. So a lot of room garnered for NiP, still with a minute on the clock.
Yeah, and if you really want to run into a 4-man stack, it's unenviable. Plopsky could molly Graveyard or Pit. He's the only one that's detached from the pack. Orp fires off a shot. Shiro noted. Smokes in the sky. They are committing here, and Inters in the power position. They've missed the molly. Well, no, they know where he is at least. Oh, damn, he's down, and only Axel, the one spray, one frag may not be enough. Insufficient, as they do open up. There was a 4-man stack on the site, and NiP leave with 3 rifles in a round.
Very unlikely round to see them bounce back in as well, and they just brute force their way in. Just brute force their way in. When Inters popped up his head, he got noted. And it looked like a flash was getting thrown directly in his direction there, so when he popped up again, they'd already scoured into the site. Axel there with a wild spray, unable to convert anything more than 1 kill, and that's Plopsky's death. That's it. Axel being the A anchor. If I'm DJL, I'm probably changing the dialogue here to try and just condition them, press Shiro back, be very diligent with your flashes in future rounds so that AWP can't be a problem, and then try and go for these short and halls plays.
I mean, look, the 2 players that have been your biggest problems have both been problems at B.
Exactly.
It's Shiro, it's Hobbit. Both forced to save. I mean, why? It's definitely in your interest to have it less than favorable for them to have impact. Admittedly, you don't know what the reaction might be out of the Cloud9 setup.
But they even had 4 here, Alex.
Let's
This
see
is the
how
crazy
this went
thing.
so wrong. So NaVi's fully blind, fine. Smokes completely nullifies Shira's contributions. Inters gets run down, and then it was really Axel who couldn't get more than the multi-kill he was required to find. But yeah, the util, I mean, you talk about executes. That was just pistols.
Oof, last timeout called from Cloud9 here as well. So last opportunity that Groove gets to take the sting out of a round loss like that. Now, they did hold on to a couple of guns. There's still residual cash left over for Cloud9 here. It will take 2 consecutive with NiP wiping them out completely. This being one of those 2.
Shiro really does only... Oh, he's got 6k. Okay, he just hasn't bought.
It might be the AWP on the ground as well here. Looks like, yeah, he's got it over towards library to scoop one up. It's just obscured
Oh, there
by
it
this
is.
banner.
I see her. I see her there. Okay, I was making me weirded out.
But this is the thing, right? So you had 4 at A and you still lose to a Tech 9 round? Like, you almost have to be certain that they'd want to go back towards A again.
No doubt about it. See what the change-up is.
Well, into starting A is a change-up.
And it's all and Hobbit that's willing to stomach a solo B.
This is the same setup they went for before when NaVi pushed on in towards the window room and had a lot of info. I don't know if he wants to go for the same type of maneuver, but they don't want to give up the mid control this time. Look at how many forward positions they have on mid right here. AWP on the slither gap, Inter's anti-flash, NaVi on the jiggle, and Axel babysitting halls who could also contribute to fight top mid. So they don't want to give up that space again, Cloud9.
Might be taken from them. Coming through boiler. Smoke, and Intis does not choose to be in front of it.
Yeah, NaVi's also dropped back as well, so it didn't take a lot to get this at least postured mid control. NiP don't know what lies on the other side, but as Hampus drops out a lurk smoke here, it does really look like they're turning the screws to continue towards A. Very standard util set you're seeing lobbed out here to get this mid control.
Well, there's one less defender this time.
And they're up.
And they already have a lot of position with plenty more flashbangs and Molotovs. Not a single smoke in play though, so this is going to have to be the gunfight. Oof. Oh, they know that Long is threatened. Brolin not going to be giving that one up. He's continuing to apply pressure there. Just as now, Hamper starts dumping his util as well. Rez up short side. Axel in a bit of a hurt locker here. Shiro hiding in the smoke. Brolin could get caught out here. Barrel sticks out, and problems now. NaVi double, running out of time. 8 seconds, the triple kill out of NaVi. They cannot contest the plant. It will be 2v3. But so much done by NaVi, and only Brolin now. He had a close one before. Could he possibly pull the clutch? An ace clutch, no less, out of the bag. Coming in from every angle, still pit occupied. Inter's alongside his first focus and already chipped away at. That's the end of that. Cloud9 recover, courtesy of NaVi. 3 on their commitment.
He's got 11 kills to his name here, but that is only his second multi-kill in the game so far, and a multi-kill that he had to get right there to shut that one down, because you saw the barrel get spotted on the way through that long side. Shiro just gets absolutely blanked. And NaVi steps on up, mows them down, and grabs Cloud9 their 13th. But this game is back and forth, a tug of war. The plant is great. It gets NiP back into the buys here, but here it is one more time. The in-game leader. 3 huge kills, and he knows how much that one means, getting fired on up. That's his signature right there. And NiP back into a timeout of their own. While we said it's likely that they continue towards A, they went into a less defended bomb site this time round and were unable to collapse with the rifles in the same way they did with the Tech 9s in the previous. Still plenty of cash. No T-sided AWP being opted for here, and you can understand why. They're operating as quite the unit here, NiP, and it is tidy. But do they want a playmaker now to enter the server and try and find them something early? Because they're getting the space. Do they want to find an opening kill? Do they want to be a bit more aggressive in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, for the last 2 rounds, it's been just Hobbit to B. There's not going to be a lot of util that will stand in your way. I say that as they dispatch 3 off spawn. So if you do try knocking on Banana's door now, there is going to be a lot more than you bargained for. Faking it. Pulls more utility out of the CTs as Rez will mantle up. Typical procedures, announcing an app's presence. 3 of them, in fact, are actually maneuvering. Only Rez the one to make a song and dance about it.
Hey, this is actually quite conservative stuff from NiP. It's just a default spread in similar fashion as what Cloud9 would do, right? Avoid as much utility damage as possible, and Shiro apparently wants to have a look mid-round. AWP trained, shot taken, aggression noted. And that's going to make them a little bit more skittish as they try and take this mid-control here.
Ooh, and yeah, actually, that incendiary extinguished through the boiler smoke. So a bit unfortunate there.
Knocking on the door of A again, 57 seconds on the clock. Flash forward, mid-control taken, and Maybe they want to try and creep up again. We've seen it work once for NiP.
This is dreamy.
This
They
is
get
the same
so
play. This
much
worked for them
control.
before.
Yeah, but nafany's not going to be susceptible to that same flashbang. And now Exile at any point can strike Rez long range onto Shiro, so he doesn't go down empty-handed. You do see the nade softening him up. 7 HP, and that is another successful A take from the Ninjas. I mean, I was going to say if it ain't broke, but it was previously. They just come straight back to it.
Yeah, we've seen that round before out of NiP, right, where they're able to snake their way up and be so threatening right there. But that shot over towards Shiro in Library, right, he takes a little bit of flak damage, and then I think that being scared on off, right, he peeks back in and gets absolutely destroyed right there. And in that kind of a passive setup, it's great if they execute. It's not great if they walk on up on you like that, because they can just sit, wait, and isolate the fights. How are you meant to get out of the coldzera box and the graveyard position? You're very, very locked on those holds.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cloud9 opt for something more forward.
They have to.
I mean, boost up on quad, have someone anti, someone underneath. Just don't let NiP ever get into that stat, because that just seems like a guarantee. Once they've got that much territory and can just slowly dig their claws deeper into you. This is 13-13. We continue to trade blows back and forth for the last 4.
Brolin has really turned this game around. Now, I know it was the super, super early stages, but you remember, I think it was like 0-5 at one point. He's now topping the scoreboard right here for his squad. 17 kills for him. 13 for Esatag, 12 for Rez, 11 for Plopsky, and 10 for Hampus. So Brolin finding some impact here, the newest addition to the NiP jersey. AWP brought over towards B early here, and maybe the play would be to set Shiro up, post him up with the AWP, and allow the rifles to rotate back on over and try and bolster A. They haven't played too far forward on mid here with this setup, and as we continue to do color by number Counter-Strike, the basics, the defaults, the bread and butter of the high level play. The boiler and holes control. They can't take this banana push. Maybe a fast flank, maybe relinquish this long side. They're not really using it. They're not going long whatsoever, right? It's traditionally mainly up this short side.
It would be out of character from Cloud9 though.
Well, the fight's coming again here. Rinse and repeat from NiP.
Yeah, but nothing to report banana, but safe passage through CT. Falls a little quiet for a moment. 3 CTs maneuvering back to the A site, but here comes the Ninjas. Just multiple stages to their take. Axel burnt, hiding in the smoke. nafany pre-aims perfectly to the drop-off, and he's got Brolin in his sights as well. Can't seem to finish him, and it's Hampus that saves him from the heavens, from the top rope. Axel can't find anyone. He's been hiding in plain sight this whole time, and we will find a 2v2. Now the bomb is in pit. You've got 30 seconds, and Hobbit's heading on over. The resmoke should deny any contributions from Hobbit. Inters has short side though. Had short side. He won't have any options now, so they can leave pit. 15 apps possible. Hampus, considering his options, will support from pit. It's been very much heard. And on the speed. Oh, he's been spotted out. Oh, a dink exchange. The AK's better. And NiP leave with the 14th.
Wow.
DJL knows how much that one means. He was so close.
What a tight round that one was, especially with the dink coming on through. A risk taken from Hobbit there to push through the smoke and try and catch a bit of a timing. The shot was good, just couldn't connect onto the second bullet necessary to get that kill.
Look at Axel's maneuver. So he actually leaves pit completely, safe and sound, strikes onto Esatag. But this second 2v2, oh, dink exchange, and Rez quick onto Inters. So they're really negating Axel's position in pit, because every time he's dropped that smoke to play around the bike, they've had the perfectly placed Molotov. This is new.
Well, we saw them do this with the Save Famas and the P250, not with an AWP and an M4.
Could catch the bedroom progressions. Rez has got into the apartments uncontested, I'd argue, and wager 7 rounds.
Oh, nafany's just rotated over towards B here, so they're thinking NiP are going to change their direction, but A, it's a leaky ship right now.
Plopsky, surely you don't get away with that. All apps, they scream as they do start to launch. They know, wait, 2 apps. Oh, it doesn't matter. Axel's got all 3 of them on the cross back in the setup. It works like a dream. Cloud9 with 2-man A hold. Axel awoken. And it's just Plopsky. Good luck, have fun. Nice headshot onto Shiro. Stops it from being a full whitewash. Perfect. 66. And another frag for Plopsky. Surely there's nothing more to be said. The plant will go uncontested.
Another kill would be great here. The cash isn't great over there for Cloud9. If Plopsky can take one more, he's already got the bomb down. This is a very threatening round around the flames here. Oh, the lineup.
Could have been a headshot. Yeah, they dip under it. So we recover. And we continue to trade blows.
It's fortunate he didn't get another kill there. They'll scavenge the AWP back. They can drop that over. It's going to be fine regarding the buy, but if Plopsky did any more damage, it would have been some real issues for Cloud9 trying to buy back in. There's only 2 more rounds to play in this half. We either go to overtime or one of these teams is going to be winning 16-14. Now, Axel, I mentioned it previously with NaVi when he got that multi-kill on the site, it being his second multi-kill of the game. That's Axel's second multi-kill of the game, and he's the A anchor. He has a really rough